To me, Detroit-Philly is going to be the most intense football game of the week. It's raining!
Think about who Justin Herbert doesn't have around him, which to me makes it that much more impressive.
I actually like Carolina in this spot. They're cats that bark like dogs, dude. They are cats that bark like dogs.
The only stars in the league for this year are the ones where the last name has something to do with food.
That's not true.
Yeah, Baker.
That's not true at all.
I've never eaten a Stafford. If the Steelers can't get going offensively this week, you can stick a fork in them. Welcome to the preview show. Got a full house. Dr. Fax, Macon, Cowboy,
Yurt.
Tanner's behind the machines, and Beau is inside the computer.
Hello.
The files are inside the computer. We have Byron Young, who is basically leading the league in sacks on the show this week. Such a soft-spoken, cool dude. The story about him, Beau, that we got to delve into at the end of the show was pretty cool. With he has a LinkedIn profile which Cowboy Reed found.
Nolan found it.
Or Nolan found it from how long ago? This is when he was at Georgia Military College.
Yeah.
And he was working where?
Long time ago.
Yeah, he was
Dollar General.
Dollar General.
He would have been my Pokemon hookup.
Yeah.
Initially, he started out at Burger King. He not recruited out of high school, not enrolled in college. Starts working at Burger King, picks up some shifts on the side at Dollar General, crushing it at Dollar General, gets promoted there full time, and then one day walks into the Dollar General and sees a flyer for a tryout at Georgia Military College. Tries out there, walks on, rest is history.
And
Dude, I wanted to ask him so bad, did anyone ever shoplift when you're at Dollar General and you just had to fucking hawk them down?
well, obviously he could catch him running that 4.5. This was the funniest fucking thing, dude. I was asking about these uniforms topically. We were talking about these uniforms, and I was like, Byron, I don't really like these uniforms. I don't think they're great. And if anybody's seen the uniforms, they're not great. Objectively not great. And I go, listen, now you running a 4.5, I mean,
Bro, his face.
Anybody looks cool at running a 4.5. Doesn't matter what uniform you wear. And his face, it was like he looked at me crazy, and I was like, "What are you looking at?" He goes, "You run a." And then he goes, "You run a 4.5?"
He was like, "Yeah."
And I'm like, "Never in my life." And he goes, "I run a 4.4." And I guess if I ran a 4.4, I'd be pretty damn proud of that too, especially how much do you think he weighs, in actuality, when he weighs in at the facility? I'm going to give him 245.
I was going to say
I think around 250.
He was looking yoked up.
He's yoked.
Listed 6'2", 258.
I don't know if he's 258.
Ooh.
But he plays like he's 258. He's got some power behind him. So, anyways, go check that interview out if you haven't heard it, or if you're a Rams fan. That was really cool to get to talk to, a Rams defensive end that's, he's got a chance to have 15 this year, and to the point of, his humble beginnings and one of 13 kids. He's holding down a job at Dollar General. He's holding down a job at Burger King. Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. I gotta run. And then he never comes back, because the funny thing about LinkedIn is on the LinkedIn it says he's on a career break, and that hasn't been updated since. But when he got in the league, quiet as kept, I really didn't know this, he was 25 years old. And you're going to see more of these guys get in the league a little bit older. I thought I was old when I got in the league at 23. 10th grade was a fucking shit show for me, 2-year shit show. And so I was 23 years old. This guy's 25, okay? And when he got in the league, so he's 28 years old now? Is that how old he is? Did my research fail me?
27.
27. So that, to me, if there's anybody I'm rooting for to get the bag, it's him. Because this is his one big chance. And that's why I'm so happy watching Byron Young play well and play at a high level. And he's done it since he's gotten in the league. So check that interview out. As usual, we are going to go we are going to start with the standalone games. But before that, I want to give out Bevel Conway. You got to check this out, guys. This was in my backyard the other night.
That's amazing.
I mean,
What a beaut.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it like this. I've gone to Montana for years in the summer, and whenever I'm up there, I'm always telling my buddy Rob, shout out to Rob, who's a big, astrology guy. Not astrology, astronomy. Astrology is the fake shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, call me if you see the northern lights. I don't care if it's in the middle of the night. And I've been up there once or twice where I didn't wake up. to the phone, and I've been so mad because I've never seen it, dude. And then I won't be there. My parents were like, "Oh, it's amazing."
Yeah.
You know, I'll be in training camp or something. And we finally saw it the other night. I had no idea. I'm really lucky I walked outside because nobody pinged me about the Northern Lights. And it looked not quite like this in real life, but it was incredible, dude. I don't know if y'all saw it the other night.
You're scrolling through social media and it's popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone has like a different view, and it's nice to see that everybody got out to see it.
We're all looking at the same sky.
Yep.
Isn't that something? Sort of.
Sky.
All right, so well, they're not looking at the same sky in Madrid because right now it's like 11:30 at night. I texted Zach Ertz to ask him if Madrid's awesome. He says it's a great place. It's cool. He didn't say fucking, but it is a cool place, and I would love to visit Madrid. What do you mean,
Bruh, the video of Debo not wanting to get his butt wet before practice is hilarious.
Well, so I kind of wonder if he has one pair of tights.
It doesn't matter.
Because, I'm making up reasons why Debo has got like a little like, and this is me. Look, I almost posted that like, hey, here are the Northern Lights.
Found him.
Stoned out of my mind at 1 in the morning. Whatever
That's a
time
real
it was.
picture.
Yeah, that's me pointing to the Northern Lights. I thought about posting that picture.
That looks edited. That's so funny, bro.
No, yeah. That's the
Allergies.
allergies.
Hell
Were,
yeah.
The allergies were out of control. They're out of control this time of year. It's a solar flares are kicking up the winds, which are like there's pollen everywhere in the air. What were we saying?
Madrid.
Madrid, Spain.
It's
Love to visit someday. 2 teams visiting this weekend: the Finns and the Commies. What did I say about the over?
You wanted to have sex with it.
I love this over so much, and that's how I know it's going under. But like, tell me why it's not going over. The total's like 47.5 or something like that.
You're right. The defenses are cheeky at the moment.
They're booty cheeks.
Darren Waller.
Dude, look at this. Okay. Now, I know Dan Quinn's taking over play calling. And so he just played Dan Campbell, who's now OCDC. That's a new one, huh?
Like
OCDC.
Nice.
So he
For
takes
sure.
over the offensive coordinator position. And then the next week, Dan Quinn's like, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the play calling from Joe Witt because that seems like a good idea because they just dusted us. And I think I can do it. And maybe he's feeling the pressure of this, this team kind of falling apart. I do think for the Commanders, it's been a thing where the injuries have just been out of control for them. Like to make that second-year leap with an aging roster and that sort of thing, like you really have to hit it right, and they haven't had the injury luck. But especially on defense, you got Trey Amos on IR, Lattimore on IR. Their pressure rate has plummeted since Armstrong's been off the field. Wise is on IR. Deron Payne punching. He's out this weekend. He punched somebody.
Did you see that?
Yeah, well, it was Amon-Ra first.
Like, and if he can find that video and put it out, like, why wouldn't Amon, like, why wouldn't he get a suspension too? Or why wouldn't they, like, maybe not suspend them and just fine them both?
Well, the video I saw was pretty grainy.
Yeah.
And like, it's little guy privilege because he like hit him, but like he can only hit him so hard, and he kind of jabbed him, and it was like he was on the far side of the
They always say the
camera.
second man always gets caught, but it's just like, if it's a situation like this where I'm like losing money, it's like,
Oh, I'd be pissed.
yeah,
I'd want to punch him again.
facts.
Should I be worried about Dan Quinn taking over the play call and taking the over here? If it also begs the question, like, and I don't think Dan Quinn's going to get fired, but like if Mike McDaniel got fired, like in Madrid, do you just stay in Madrid, develop a lisp, and like hang out?
Chill.
You know what I'm saying?
Chill for a week.
That's a good place to get fired. You can Cliff Kingsbury it on the spot, dude. You don't even need to come
It's
home.
like the Miami of Europe, dude. It's perfect. You can wear capris over there. He's already got his wardrobe packed.
But if he got
That's pretty
fired,
good. It is a good place to get axed.
if he got fired, he would get like a quick consulting job with one of these teams, right?
I think he definitely like, and honestly, I have like a theory that he wanted to get fired, and he was trying to get fired when he was talking about like throwing 10 picks, and like I just think
Definitely
he's in I don't give a fuck mode where he's driving by the Bills bar and
Bro, that is so. I think that is so funny, bro. I think that is so great. It's just petty enough where it's
it
just
makes me like him.
It really does.
Makes me like
Like it feels like if it makes me feel like he actually cares. Like, even though it's like something little like that seems petty, but him just being like, yeah, I live in the area. So
It could be AI. Nowadays you never know what to believe. Here's what I don't know if I can believe, that the Dolphins aren't dead. Now, they've played better lately. If they win 4 in a row, now that's a big if, but look at who they play. They get Washington, Madrid, they get a bye, they get the Saints, they get the Jets.
Ooh.
That could be 3 wins you reel off, and I believe they're capable of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, the way Achan's playing. I think Mike's cooking a little bit with gas. I think Tua's been better. I mean, he's up and down, but he's been better. And I'm really, impressed with the job Anthony Weaver's done on defense. Dude, like he's gotten these guys to play hard for him. Last week they loaded the box and they said, hey, Buffalo, I dare you to beat us passing the football with these Arena League players you have outside. and they couldn't. And Josh wasn't good enough. And so, big win for them. If they win 3 in a row, sitting right now at what are they, 3-7?
Yes.
Yep.
They would have a chance to get to 500 against the Steelers on Monday Night Football.
Ooh.
I mean, that could set up a big tilt. And in the AFC, the teams that they're competing with for the wild card are not juggernauts. No offense. There is one that I think is pretty good, but the others. So, anyways, this for the Dolphins is a big game. I expect the Dolphins to come out and play their best. I expect Dan Quinn to, try to pull a rabbit out of his hat, but from a personnel standpoint, it's going to be really hard. And a cool story in this game, a sub-story, is in 2016, I don't know if y'all have heard this story, but obviously Mike McDaniel has, a history with substance abuse. And he's sober, and, it's a cool story because, you don't hear a lot of head coaches talking about that stuff openly, and I do think, like, no bullshit, that's pretty cool that he's been open about it. But in 2016, he was on that Falcons staff, and he was on that staff with Dan Quinn, and he was on it with Raheem Morris and with Kyle Shanahan, and those 3 guys sat him down and were like, hey, man, you're drinking too much. And he credits that group, and especially Dan Quinn with kind of turning his life around. And so, there's always, I mean, it's a shitty football game, but it's a great story. It's a cool storyline attached to this game, and I'm glad it's happening because I will be in the chow line at 9:30 in the morning watching this standalone game.
This is
what's crazy, real quick, Chris, is it's easier to watch these games in Madrid than it is to watch Monday Night Football, and I have a real problem with that.
That's a great take. My kids can watch the game in Madrid. It's a nice warm up for Sunday. I know that West Coast people are important, but like, I wouldn't mind it if, they missed the first half, like on Monday night. Like, that'd be fine with me. It's a good take.
So this is
I have a gripe.
This is the Haka Bowl.
You expect me to get involved with this?
What? No, it's the Haka Bowl, like Tua versus Mariota.
Yeah, but do they do the haka?
Like I feel like Tua has the traditional like tattoo
I got
on
you.
his arm.
Okay.
Does Mariota have that too? Maybe they both do. So like, I just feel like
It's interesting to bring that up, Nate. I think the Gabriel Tua game earlier this season was the first matchup between 2 Hawaii-born QBs.
And it
Now
was
we have another
funny.
one.
And it was funny because they played in like a fucking windstorm, like a wind and rain storm in Cleveland. I don't know.
it was.
Isn't the haka from
I'm not
New
touching
Zealand?
that.
New Zealand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Any of that.
but those guys are also Pacific Islanders, so
They
sure,
are.
yeah.
It's all together.
I thought you were trying to make a Hawk Tua joke.
That is
Oh
interesting.
no, definitely not. Who cares about her? That's Chris's spread.
And now the starting quarterbacks for the Dolphins and the Commanders will perform the haka. Like, we don't fucking know how to do that. We're from Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Oh, somebody from Dr. Fax said you guys knew how to do it. So anyways, we don't need to spend too much time on this game.
Well, there was a magician in Spain who said uno, dos, and then left without a trace.
Oh, that's just brutal. That is brutal.
Touche, Macon.
Guy just disappeared.
I'm not listening to what he says anymore. All right. let's get into the big standalone. To me, Detroit Philly is going to be the most intense football game of the week. I know that the game of the week is probably Seattle and LA. Kansas City, Denver, also a big 3 game, and then we're throwing Buffalo and Tampa in the mix as well. And certainly that game feels like a must-win for Buffalo. But I think for Philly and for Detroit, considering what they've gone through recently, and yeah, the Eagles are 7-2 in the whole thing, but maybe this is where we start with the AJ Brown soundbite, and we're gonna let it run, and then we're gonna tell you what we think about it. Because I think it contextualizes a lot of the way we talk about the Eagles.
AJ, how do you square your situation with the fact that team's 7-2?
It's not just solely about my situation. I mean, guys, like obviously I want to win too, you know. And I think if we're really focusing on winning and doing our job, like we can't just keep slapping the Band-Aid over the defense doing their job and getting us out of trouble. At what point are we gonna pick up our slack as an offense that we're so great, you know? And that's what I'm getting at. It's not about we're not winning or I don't care about winning. All I care about is snap and step. No, it's been week after week. Sometimes we're not contributing. We're not doing our job on offense. So you can't just keep slapping a Band-Aid over it and you expect to win late in the year. You think you're gonna go to it at the end of the year? It's not gonna fucking happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You know. And last year, what it was. Thank you for the ring, but it's a new season. They adapted. We have to adapt. And we have to continue to like get better and try to find new ways. So that's where the frustration comes in because it's not about winning, you guys. Like I want to win, yes, and help contribute as well. Do our thing on offense as well. I think that's fair.
Now the gal in the beanie, the gal in the beanie is me. Listening to him say this for the first time, the way she was like, yes, this makes a lot of sense. Like, yep, I like what I'm hearing. What did y'all think? Because I can go on for a little bit.
I thought it was interesting because I feel like he was kind of saying exactly what you said the other night when we recorded the Monday Night Football reaction, which is like I was kind of gassing up the defense a little bit because I was excited about that. And you said some very similar shit to what AJ said, which is basically like, hey, just because we're winning games, it doesn't cover up that our offense is underperforming, which I think is actually a very valid take. The bigger problem that I have is like I don't feel like he addressed the personal kind of like I don't think he really head on addressed the
weird post,
like the distraction that he is. Weird stuff. Like he's obviously like I don't know if he's trolling. I don't know if he's doing it for attention. He's trying to make his discontentment known through like without really addressing it directly, and that's what I think is interesting. I think he has a lot of valid points, but it's like he's not just coming out there and saying, that's why. I think he could just be a lot more direct in his like approach to it on his own personal social media and like on Twitch and whatnot.
What do you think, Nate? I was waiting for your take on this.
Oh, man. I just feel like this is cancer, bro. This is cancer in the locker room for a winning team. Even if you do feel like this, I just feel like this is an advantage for all the people you're going to play against because you're putting this out there. But the only reason why people want to even know about this information is because you're pouting on social media. And I just feel like it's childish. And then, like, what happens? They throw you the ball 16 times, you guys lose, and then you're in the media with a smile on your face saying we got to get better, or I don't know.
But we don't. But that hadn't happened yet.
It hasn't. It hasn't. But it's just one of those things where, like, yo, this is a team sport. Like, yo, you're not the focal point right now, but you're on a team where you gotta kind of know that at some point you are going to help that team win, and you are going to be the focal point. And it's like, I just feel like it's a little childish. And then the rumors of hearing that fourth down play, they kind of went rogue. That I feel like that's like a bullying tactic. Like you get to the fourth quarter and it's like, bro, I'm really about to end this game with 2 catches, 13 yards. Throw me the ball in this 4th and 1. It's going to be one. I'm going to have one-on-one.
But we don't know any.
We don't know that for sure. That's a rumor. But like they have done it before, and Nick covers for him, which is the right thing to do and everything. Did they come out of timeout, or how did that 4th and 1? I can't remember the other night. if you don't remember, it's no big deal. But like,
They came out of a timeout, I think.
yeah, they came out of a
Right.
timeout. Like, I suppose, like, walking onto the field, AJ could be like, hey, I'm going to beat your ass after the game if you don't throw me the ball. But, like, if I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm going to be like, hey, I'm running the fucking play that's called. And this is all speculation, by the way.
Right.
Okay, so I kind of agree in some ways, but ultimately, I'll give you my take in a second. I agree in from the standpoint that he has to know that what he says on social media carries value, right? Like people are going to analyze what you say. You're one of the best players on the defending Super Bowl team, and honestly, the offense should go through you in the passing game
For sure.
And so any games he played before, like, we could be better about that. But I have no problem with what he just said.
No, I hear you.
And if you remove it from the context, which you can't do because the lead up contextualizes everything, what he said is absolutely true. And he is one of the very few people who can afford to pout because he's not getting the ball, because it also means that the offense isn't running at at the highest clip.
Yeah.
And to me, like, but him wanting to catch the ball, and I've been making this argument since the beginning, is like, there is selfishness that's just born in selfishness, where you show up and you want to be the guy and you don't care whether you win or lose. And inherently, players are selfish sometimes because we are pressured to perform. He has job security. He's one of the best players in the league. Mm-hmm. He is established. So his frustration is not like purely, I'm not getting the ball. It is, we suck offensively.
Yeah.
And if we're being honest, like, and this is the point I've been making over and over again, the offense has been inconsistent. And, I've had people tweet and comment and say, well, before the bye, we were rolling. What universe are you living in? because you torched the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
They have not been consistent all year long. And, short of him assigning blame individually to the quarterback or the coordinator, like, he doesn't have to do that. The fact of the matter is, the offense is not exhausting its potential. And I think what he's saying is, yes, we're 7-2, but that's fan fodder. I see that a lot, like on the timeline and this sort of thing, where people are like, yeah, but we're winning. Okay.
Well, I think that's also coming from people within the Eagles building, man.
I hope
especially
not.
Like well, I guess like it's interesting because when you watch a Monday Night Football game, how many times during the broadcast when it was like 0-0 or 3-0 or whatever, are the guys in the booth saying like Jalen Hurts would be very happy to win this game, like 3-0, like all he cares about is winning. And I feel like at times Jalen has gone up on the podium and said, things along that exact same nature.
And ultimately it is about winning. But like what we're trying to do is we're trying to forecast what this offense looks like in the playoffs when you got to go win 3-4 games, whether they're on the road or at home, whoever you're playing, like you have to be consistent against 4 playoff caliber teams consecutively, and in the playoffs taking a half off or being sporadic or, and I know that was a low total game when they played Green Bay last year in the playoffs. But they, I think even the most, I put my green glasses on. I put these green glasses on. Yeah, I fucking love the Eagles. But the Eagles have to play better offensively, and they have to play more consistently, and I think that's what he's saying. And to be honest, like, let's just call it what it is. The quarterback is a fucking winner. Jalen Hurts is a winner. We have always given him a lot of praise for being a winner. And it's not about style points with this team, and it wasn't about style points with the New England Patriots when all those years they found different ways to win. I thought that was the most impressive thing about their dynasty was the Patriot way was not, hey, we're going to line up and do the same fucking thing every week. We are going to change and morph based on the opponent we play, and winning is the ultimate thing.
Yeah.
But to not have an offensive identity and to not do the easy things like, hey, when A.J. Brown's running across the field butt naked, like the quarterback's got to find him. If your best player has 2 targets on the game, that's a problem. If you can't run the ball for stretches, that's a problem. And that's not to say they can't fix it. But what he's saying is we have set a standard, and so we're going off of that standard. We're not going off of the fans' standard for success. We're going off the standard that we set in winning a Super Bowl and being in 2 of them so far.
So let me ask you this. You played Madden, like, when you were playing in the league, did you play Madden as yourself?
I didn't play Madden in the league much, honestly.
Because I was going to ask, like, what's the most amount of sacks you got with yourself?
I like where you're going because the funniest thing, and I'll let you talk about it because you're bringing it up. It's fucking hilarious. Go ahead.
Bro, the fact that guys who get upset about a real game and then their way of feeling better is like, I'm going to go on to Madden. I'm going to play as the Eagles and as myself, and I'm going to run my stats up. But the funny thing about the stats is to not throw or to only throw one pass and it's a drop to Devontae Smith is just hilarious for whatever reason.
Oh, so he did target Devontae Smith.
He did.
Once.
Look at the drops. It's one drop.
That is
just,
that's
even though that's petty, it's just so funny because in the video when he's showing this, like you can hear him talking to his kid in the background, and he's like, "Yeah, this is what I have to do now. Look what Daddy did. Look at Daddy's stats." And it's just like, it's like, bro, we know you're trolling. But
why is that? I don't understand why
I think
that's petty though. Like it's not like he's not targeting Devontae Smith
But
playing Madden. He's just targeting the fuck out of himself, which anyone would naturally do.
No, I know, but he does get the ball to the tight end and that sort of thing. He does get the ball to the tight end.
I'm like crazy that I'm the opposite opinion of facts on this. I don't.
No, but it's more.
this
But
is-
it's not. It's not
a
even.
big
It's not
deal.
even.
It's just
No, it's
funny.
not.
It's just
not,
funny
It's
as
just
fuck.
funny. It's
like
just
that
so
to
funny.
me was the lead.
Dude,
But
in
not the
whole
Devontae.
thing.
Not even the
the
Devontae thing.
Eagles
But
for one season, and you best believe that I fucking subbed myself in at fullback and ran the shit out of the ball on fullback dive goal line on 1st and 10.
But
because
him-
my only
Did you?
chance
But-
ever as a nose guard to touch. Hell yeah, brother.
but him telling
I had
his
like
son
40 yards.
But it's more that him like telling his son like, yeah, like I'm not doing anything in real life, but like look at Daddy's stats in the game. Like
Yeah.
look at me here, and
Yeah.
then like just hearing like his son cheer, and then him kind of joke around like online. I just feel like it's funny, petty. But at the same time, it's just like with everything else going on, the underlining of all of it is just like, when does some of the guys in the locker room be like, yo, bro, like enough's enough? Like,
Unless
chill
they
out.
want the fucking offense
Definitely not
to play.
after watching him play Madden. Like,
I'm sorry, guys. Unless they want the offense to play better like he does.
Yeah.
And they might be sitting there and saying, like, I love my quarterback. We want to work it out with the coordinator. We don't put it all on either of these guys. But right now, we are not playing well enough offensively. Like why how do we know that that's not the case? That like there aren't a lot of guys that feel that way, but he's just the guy who can throw his weight around because he's AJ Brown. And so locker rooms are very complex deals, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. It's a social club where not a social club, but like it's 50 plus guys. It's including the practice squad guys. It's more than that. And like everybody's got different opinions of what's being called and how things are going. And so he just happens to be the one that everybody's, microscopic on. The funniest thing in the whole thing, though, is Devontae not getting a single catch in his Madden game, which is fucking hilarious. And we didn't look at the rushing. I bet he didn't give Saquon the ball either, because when you play Madden, you just abandon the run game. So
He threw it to Saquon.
did he? All right, so let's talk about the real game. Contextualized by the fact that I think, the Eagles are looking for that day where they're playing a really good team and it just cooks, like the way that they played in the second half against the Rams, and I think the thing that Detroit has to make a decision on, and if I'm Kelvin Shepard, he's seen the tape. I play zone. I stay out of man. I make it a zone fest because that is honestly, when I watch this offense and you give him man coverage, Jalen just sees it a little bit better. And right now, that whatever Patullo's doing, game plan wise, however he's coaching the position, they just haven't been as good in playing zone coverage. And last week, that was Hafley's game plan. Like I said, like they got in a man a couple times in that game, and it didn't burn them. One of them, it was like a dig that Nixon made a play on, and the other one, and there was probably a couple more instances of it, but where Quay Walker drops Saquon Barkley and he goes for 41 yards. So not only does the quarterback see it better, but in a game like this, and you have good linebackers, I don't know about Saquon on either of them. And I love Jack Campbell and Anzalone, and you got a better shot than most people, but I just wouldn't. And you can't let Jalen Hurts escape to his throwing hand. I think that's paramount for them. You see it every week. He does a really good job of extending plays, finding space on the right side, and he will be conservative when he rolls out. he'll hit a comeback. Last week he wasn't that conservative when he threw the ball back across his body to Dallas Goedert, but generally you are stopping him from picking up the 5 or 6 yards that's going to make it third and manageable or what have you. So I think a lot of times, Bo, I don't know how you feel about this, Nate, but like I would have all my loopers looping very flat when you play a guy like this. And, we'll bring this up when it comes to some other games like Kansas City, especially when you play the Chiefs. But like when you play Jalen Hurts, if you're going to run, say, an ET, end first tackle around to the left side, right? Not a bad call. You don't want to take it off the table. Jalen's not Michael Vick, but, I want my looper running flat down the line, run to him, right? Run to where he's going to be, not to where he is in the pocket, which sounds very basic, but a lot of times the wrappers will loop and get vertical as if they're doing it in like one-on-one pass rush or you're practicing games. You almost have to loop and run right down the line. So I think rush lanes are huge. And obviously for the Eagles, the best matchups are outside. You're going to want to hunt those things. Nolan, what are the injuries to Detroit's secondary? Because that's always the big story going in. It feels like every week with this group.
Yeah, so Terry Arnold still in concussion protocol. Kirby Joseph is also not practicing. On the offensive side, Sam Laporte is out of practice too. Another one worth monitoring in the secondary, this is actually an ad today. Amik Robertson was added to the injury report with a hammy. He's limited, but obviously never good when you have a midweek addition to the injury report. There were 2 guys returned to practice from IR, DJ Reed and Marcus Davenport. Whether they have them back this week might be unlikely. They're in that 21-day window, but they'll be getting those guys back soon.
Yeah, so, I mean, no matter what, I would try to limit man coverage, especially if you have personnel issues. Those guys have played big in big spots, manning people up. I mean, we saw, Amik Robertson playing man coverage on Justin Jefferson with some help last year. But they'll play in these situations, and most of them are at home. I feel like where you're like, hey, you play to the crowd noise, you play to the fact that like people are going to be unsettled on the road, and you man them up, you bring pressure. I don't know if you want to do that this week. I would stick to the zone pressures, and in the run game, I would run away from Hutch. Right? We talked about that, Noel. Run away from Hutch.
Yeah.
You like your matchups on the end of the line of scrimmage. If it's anybody else, although Davenport really sets a nice edge, I think Aleem McNeil, getting him blocked is kind of one of the big stories in this game. They're going to get Juergens back possibly, but I'm more worried even with Lane's hobbled ankle. And yeah, I think Hutchinson's the rare rusher that could get him once. Especially in Lane State, like you might see some power rushes where Jalen's got Lane in his lap once or twice, but I worry about the interior of this offensive line.
I also think Hutch might have enough speed to maybe do that super loop where you send that opposite end on an inside move and the quarterback thinks he's getting away and Hutchinson doing that little trail thing.
That's a great
from
point.
Behind.
We used to call that
to the offensive left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish hook.
That's actually a really good rush against Jalen.
Yep.
It was like try to get him to scramble away from his throwing arm.
But the only thing is just like if he actually rushes on that situation with that end going inside.
Yeah, I mean, you ideally would do it away from his throwing hand, as Bo said, but Jalen sometimes rolling right will casually kind of head to the sticks, and he's got his eyes downfield, looking to run or dump down.
I can see Hutch getting one of those, leg sweep sacks, just barely get him down.
I think the Eagles are really going to try to run the ball. I don't know why. I just get the sense that they want to
establish dominance.
Yeah, kind of, exactly. And we know how Dan Campbell is. A lot has been made of him taking over the play calling duties for the Lions offensively, and I don't know. I just can see Nick kind of getting competitive about it and wanting to bang the ball with Saquon. And obviously we've talked about A.J. Brown and how his production's lower too, but I think it's kind of the point of the year where we're approaching, December football, playoffs, things like that. And you want to get Saquon in the run game going offensively for the Eagles. That's been the strength of the team offensively for a while now. And we haven't quite seen it this year. Obviously the pass game has its woes too, but to me, I could just see them wanting to like ramp up the run game, get it going, establish a run so that they can get to some of their passing things. So like I'm expecting a lot of duo inside zone kind of action, but we'll see.
I do think they have some advantages in the passing game that don't have, like you look at the Eagles, the middle of the field, I feel like is an area where Detroit can own that. You've got Jack Campbell's a stud, Anzalone can cover, you got Brian Branch. There's guys in the middle of the field that you have to contend with. Outside the numbers, honestly, and that's where Jalen likes to work, that's going to be the game within the game. You said it, though, duo, run game. It's kind of one of these things where, like, Dan Campbell sees this group, and he's one that said this week, like, I want the tush push to survive. Like, he's a man's man, dude.
Careful what you wish for.
Well, no, but he's looking at this group, and it's like another big guy walked in the bar, and, like, this is Roadhouse.
Bro.
And I think both of these teams have that attitude, and that's why I think it's going to be so fucking physical. But again, Jalen almost threw 2 balls outside the numbers Monday night that went the other way. And I know Carrington Valentine, but part of this is you got to know the personnel you're playing against. Carrington Valentine will jump that stuff. So how are these guys going to play like the stop routes, the comebacks, the quick outs, and can you get them to bite on a double move? Because I could see A.J. Brown getting somebody to bite on a double move this weekend and going for 6 after the what they saw on film. Oh,
Do you guys hear that?
Is it windy?
15 to 20 miles per hour.
No shit.
Philly, Sunday night.
Now, do we get
duo?
Can confirm. Windy as fuck here, man.
Is it?
I was running into
That's
the
that
window.
solar
and
wave,
got blown
Chris.
over.
That means golf isn't going to play well, right?
Well, golf typically. Well, I don't want to say that because I
There are
said before
stats
he's not.
that refute that.
They refute that exactly. That's kind of like a misnomer. But Saturday in Philly, and I think what's important is oftentimes the gusts. Oh, so Sunday around noon, there's going to be 34 mile per hour gusts in Philly, wind of 16. But by the time you get late in this game,
So you like that for the over or the under? That means less field goals, a lot more going on in a fourth down both sides.
but generally
right?
the wind drives totals down.
These are 2 teams that go for it on 4th down, though. So
and they do. But I'm looking at guys. The wind is worse at midday, and then if you get on your weather app, you can see it kind of goes like this as the evening goes on. So late in the game, you might be able to throw the football. And sometimes I'll look at the weather.
Yeah, and it does it.
And then
perfect.
motherfuckers are just throwing through the wind, dude.
Oh yeah,
like
true.
Well,
So-
are there any reasons to believe the Eagles' run game can stabilize after 3 yards a carry against Green Bay? I know saying it sounds good, especially with windy conditions.
I don't know that the Eagles can consistently run the ball yet this year. Like I don't know that because they haven't consistently done it over the course of a game or 2 games. So we're looking for consistency.
Some of the stuff they've done well is the stuff that's been hitting the perimeter. Chris talked about running away from Aiden Hutchinson. Obviously, Hutchinson's a stud. That's enough reason to run away from him. But Al-Qadim Muhammad, Tyler Lacey played a bunch of run snaps at the edge spot for them last week. Sometimes they'll walk David Barnes down. Derek Barnes is actually a off-ball backer, play on the ball. All those guys, I'm taking my Lotter lane at the point of attack anytime. So you feel good about those matchups there.
No question.
Plus, Jurgens is back.
Yeah, well, hopefully. And now we've got Detroit's offense again. OCDC. This is going to be interesting. Like you take over play calling, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, he's not a huge meathead. Like he's from the Sean Payton tree. He knows what he's doing." Now he faces Fangio, who's been nails. I think this is a really interesting matchup. I also think it's an interesting vantage point when you're the head coach and you watch, your group struggle. You have these pet peeves, like you're sitting there watching John Morton do X, Y, and Z. You can kind of see in that first game like what you want to do differently. Now I know he knows he's got Philly coming up in a week, so he's got to have a hook behind the jab, right? And he will be saving some new wrinkles and looks. But here are the things we saw last week. You could tell right away Skipper's going to be on the field more. 5 times the jumbo package. Playing Skipper at big tight end. And the Eagles have been doing that as well with Fred Johnson. You could see that.
Part of that, too, I expect a lot of that jumbo package because Laporta and Brock Wright are both a little dinged up right now. It's a little too early to tell, like, how whether they're questionable, if they're going to be active and whatnot. But I'm just saying, to your point, saw a lot of jumbo tight end, big personnel with Dan Skipper. I think there's going to be a lot more of that too on Sunday. This is going to be a physical game.
I think it could be a festival. I think it could be a jumbo festival. It could be both sides because, Lane being able to play, that's not just big because Lane can play. Fred Johnson's been a solid backup for him, but it's a lot like the Pittsburgh thing. It's not a lot like it because Pittsburgh absolutely needs that look. But if Sayamalu's out, then, Anderson's got to go into guard, and it just throws the whole fucking thing off. So you got both jumbo packages. You saw more of it last week. You saw a lot more motion. I love some of the creativity. There was a play where, they put Skipper in the game. You've got Amon-Ra on a single receiver side, and Skipper he goes in motion to build like trips. And they're basically getting you heavy to be able to throw into a window that's occupied by like a backer, a big body, right? And so I just looked at a lot of these motion deals that they use motion. I forget what the numbers were on this thing, but it was a lot more, wasn't it, last week?
Yeah, it was up from
73.9.
They were, I think
Sorry,
they were no, you're good. Whatever it was an increase of like 15 percentage points over where they were under John Morton. It was a pretty big jump.
No, and that's big. I mean, like that, they got a lot of speed on the field. And when they're their best, I've always said this, like they really challenge linebackers and they challenge the middle of the field. And like that eye candy is something you should absolutely be taking advantage of. You're leaving money on the table if you're John Morton and you're not using motion with this group. And, another thing is, talking about speed, you got J-Mo going. And I think that's been a big thing for them this year is like when we saw J-Mo in camp, remember that, Nolan? We were standing there watching J-Mo catch footballs against Houston. That's a very good defense. And we were saying, I was like, man, like, I'm going to put some tickets in on this guy this year. Now, it hadn't quite gone.
1,000,000 yards.
1,000,000 yards, dude. And it just didn't happen over time. And so, like, forcing the ball to J-Mo's big. And what was really funny about it was, did you see the thing where Dan Campbell got a play call in and knew it was going to be a good play?
Yeah, did you see?
And fist pump?
Beastie?
It wasn't that.
It wasn't that.
Right, which is
talk about it.
I think it speaks to how like, as a perfect example of in the NFL, like you see something on TV and you think you know what it is.
Yeah.
But just operations are so different than and like what it actually was. Shout out to the St. Brown podcast. They gave a little intel on it, but it wasn't excitement. It was Dan being frustration. It was Dan being frustrated.
Yep. The play cut off.
And the play cut off at 15 seconds. He couldn't finish it. But what's so interesting is Jared Goff's so good and doesn't use a wristband that he was able to, based on half of the call, finish the call and go get that score because it was the right call.
Yep.
And so it's funny that Dan's frustration looks like excitement.
Yeah.
But I thought the other thing was play action pass uptick. And that worries me because the Eagles are pretty pedestrian defending play action pass. Does anybody have the numbers on that? We had numbers on that.
They allow 10 yards per attempt. That's fifth most in the NFL. Under Dan Campbell, Jared Goff uses play action on a season high 51.5% of his dropbacks. He was 12 of 17 for 186 yards in play action.
Yeah, so you got to be able, and I worry about support players. Like they're going to run outside zone. They're going to get on your edges. And, the Jalen Phillips acquisition is huge, right? Because it gives them another guy that can set the edge. But this is a really tough deal, and it's going to be tough on the support players. I look at, like, play action, them getting the play action going. There's some, there are some guys out there that I would be – that, Makuba's a young player. I would be targeting these guys in play action, seeing if I can get them to kind of peak and go behind them. So I think that's something you'll see. And I think the most important guy that nobody's thinking about is Coyote Awashika.
Yeah, man. Coyote's the X factor here. He is he's starting at left guard right now for the Lions after Christian Mahogany was placed on IR. He's a UDFA out of the University of Buffalo, but he spent his rookie year in Philly before the Lions actually poached him off the P squad from Philly in September of 2022. So obviously he's certainly improved under Hank Fraley's tutelage since that point. But I think you can bet your ass there was a meeting this week between Vic Fangio and Jeff Stoutland over over a couple chicken parms talking Coyote hours Chica, seeing how they can get him with some stunts or some pressures.
No question. I mean, he's going to be somebody that's – because Tate Ratledge has done a great job the last couple games in pass protection. I mean, I don't think he's given up a pressure in like 3 weeks or something like that. So the guy's been very – I think it was 2 weeks. The guy's been very good. I think that Jalen Carter matchup with Tate Ratledge is going to be really interesting. But the kind of tricky thing about it is Ajomo is arguably their best interior player this year. So, you know, like they're going to have to help probably Ajomo, ironically, and help on Ajomo and maybe leave Ratledge alone some, which is not the way you probably draw it up, but that's the way it's going to be. So I think in the run game, you got to be really careful. You watched them last week, and I thought they did a great job, Detroit did, of cutting off those 4 eyes on the backside, the 3 techniques, and the runs are hitting downhill, 1 cut downhill, right? Like outside zone, you got to be careful on that backside. You have to stay in your gap. You got to fight like hell. We had a D-line coach who used to say, you got to fight like 2 hoes in a cafeteria. And didn't he, Beau? And
Oh yeah.
and I need to see some guys fighting like 2 hoes in a cafeteria. Usually that's a play action pass saying, but this is also, you know, you got to get your hat in the gap because these things hit downhill. Jahmyr Gibbs he's a blur. You got to be careful. When he ran that angle in the red zone last week, that he runs like he rounds the angle off. You know, imagine being that backer when he comes over in motion and you're like, yeah, he's mine now. And we always talk about the conflict that you're put in as an overhang player or as a backer against an angle route or a guy with 2-way go. It's impossible. This guy's a nightmare. So you got to watch for him in the pass game as well.
To that point, Chris, I'm also envisioning a situation in which the Lions get into big personnel with Dan Skipper or whomever, and you know, they've been running the ball a fuck ton. All of a sudden it's block them up, go deep, nothing's there deep, and Jahmyr Gibbs kind of leaks out after like a chip or something like that, and a lot of space for him to work there. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to continue to get a lot of balls in the pass game too.
No question.
Hands on balls.
Hands on balls.
What did you think of Dan Campbell's comments on the tush push? He said, you take something out of the game, then we're taking the next thing out of the game, and pretty soon we don't have pads anymore. Then pretty soon we're only playing 30 minutes. They've got a niche, they've found something they're good at, and it's for everybody else to stop.
Slippery slope. Next thing you know, it's going to be a bunch of guys out there in tutus.
Next thing you know, they're going to have flag football in the Olympics. You know?
Yeah.
That first one last week was egregious.
The false start?
Yeah.
You know, ironically, the thing that saved him was Green Bay jumped 2 on their so it was kind of a ball don't lie situation, but
there's going to be a situation if the Lions by chance lose this game and there's a tush push that maybe they miss a false start or whatever, that clip is just going to be run over and over, and then he's going to have to answer that question probably 300 more times before the end of the season. Do you still think the tush push?
No question. We just don't want to see a repeat of the Dan Skipper situation. I want the Birds to win, but I want them to win fair and square.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be like, you know, the Dallas was down in Jerry's world, and poor Dan is flipping out at the end of the game, the ineligible report situation.
Is this a potential NFC championship matchup?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No doubt.
Both these teams have the potential of going a long way.
Yes,
Detroit.
Cowboy.
Yes.
Damn it.
We'll see it. Lock
What
it
the
in.
fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. No, absolutely. I think for Detroit, it's ironic because like so many teams around the league have had like bad injuries, right? And Detroit is always dealing with injuries in the secondary and that sort of thing, and they found ways around them. You know, for Detroit, I think a lot of it is about getting healthy and the offense functioning, you know, a little bit better. You know, Philly's got to get their offense going as well, but the defense, that's the one thing is like that defense has stayed pretty healthy. And I think Vic's doing a fantastic job. I think he's maximizing the talent he has to work with. So we'll see what happens on the stretch with 2 of the elites.
He said about Jalen Phillips, anytime you shop at Nordstrom's, you pick out something nice. About picking him up.
He's absolutely right. You just gotta take your time and look.
Said.
But Nordstrom's, you can find some great products.
Since we're talking about this, I was dead wrong on Wegmans, guys.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
Wegmans
Great
is
spot.
Wegmans is
fire.
fantastic.
Well, hold on a minute now, player. Hard to navigate.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not real. It's kind of like a Washington D.C. situation.
You have to spend a lot of time in there to figure it out.
Yeah, no
That's true.
question.
That is
But there were some really great products.
Like Buddy Biscuits, the
Sure.
dog biscuits, and the orange box.
I have not seen them.
Yeah.
I wasn't shopping for my dog.
Do you remember when I came to see you play in St. Louis and you fed me doggy biscuits?
Yeah, I told him we got these take one. It was a kind of take one situation. Anybody that would come into town, we'd be like, yeah, we get these cookies. And we'd see if they'd eat them, and they were dog.
Right. Like, what the hell?
I mean, it's just a
Bacon's
fucked
got
up
that
thing to do.
dog biscuit in him.
It's also, yeah, it's a fucked up thing to do to somebody who like traveled to go watch the Rams play.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with, speaking of the Rams, let's start with the game of the week. The game of the week is probably Seattle LA. You know, you talk about like, hey, possible NFC championship matchup like this. It's got shades of, I don't know what year that was, like 2013 when you had two NFC West teams in the NFC championship. That was San Francisco at that point and Seattle. It feels like the NFC West it's cooking, man. And these two teams are, for me right now, we do this thing every couple weeks. Like you could say, hey, this is the best quarterback right now. This is the best team right now. These two teams are the best two teams in the NFC right now. And I think I will be interested to see the way they play when they play each other because they are so similar. You know, they're different, but they're similar, right? Like I think the Rams prefer to be a little bit lighter offensively, right? Like, but they've found ways to get into 13, and that's happened over time. But like, you know, they're a little bit lighter. They both have great defensive lines. Their secondaries are both very good, but one's a little bit flashier, right? You've got, you know, the Spoons, the Woolens, Emin Wari is now like a star. You know, the other guys are dependent on pieces like Emmanuel Forbes, like lost and found pieces like Emmanuel Forbes or, you know, Quentin Lake, who's an unsung kind of guy, like Landman at linebacker. But that front is ferocious. Both these fronts are ferocious. So I think that's kind of the theme of the game to me is kind of a Spider-Man meme with these two teams. They like to do things a little bit differently, but great football teams. We'll start with the Rams offense. I think for Seattle, having Spoon, Woolen, and possibly Job on the field at the same time, that's a pretty good deal for them. Does Ernest Jones play? You know, a lot's going to be made of the matchup in the passing game. We'll start here because – you know, Nolan, you pointed this out that, you know, LA likes to run duo. And that is something that Seattle hasn't done a great job of fitting up. And I think I know why. I mean, those backers are a little bit undersized. And, you know, when you've got undersized backers that get kind of like lost behind, say, Bo Allen's ass, you know what I'm saying, Bo?
Oh,
like,
yeah, brother.
You're eating a double team, and these guys kind of get lost back there.
That's where I want them. You know, get
Yeah.
right back there and pull that elbow off. Get behind these cheeks. Let me do my job.
But they're not bigger. They're not bigger bodies. And so yeah, if you can get the ball downhill on these guys, and I think probably Sean McVay will tinker with some, you know, some heavier sets and trying to just jam the ball down their throats a little bit. That's not to say that Stafford's not going to be able to throw the football. He's been doing it, you know, as good as anybody in the league. And he's getting the ball out too. He's getting the ball out as well. But time to pressure for Seattle is 2.5 seconds. They're 4 or 5 deep. You know, last week they brought blitz. They don't have to bring blitz to press you, and I think that's and this is good on good because this offensive line for the Rams is very good. This defensive line is probably the best defensive line they've seen across the board yet this year. Week 1 they saw Houston's edges. Week 3 they saw the guys inside with Philly. They have not seen a group like this top to bottom, and so I'm very excited to see that matchup once we get into the pass game. You know, so it's going to come down to, hey, stopping the run, getting them in a 3rd and long. And Stafford's got 2 great receivers and a healthy offensive line. And so there's no surprise to me that he's playing at the level he is. You got to be able to block this front.
How many catches do you think Puka, or how many targets do you think Puka is going to have?
Well, it depends on who they
that
put
he
on him.
gets.
I think there's an interesting conversation to be had. Like, okay, when you look at the matchups in this game, and Nolan, I'll be interested to hear what you have to say, but like, I don't know who you want to put on Puka, but it might be Spoon. I know he gives up some size, but like to me, whoever you put on Puka has to be a good tackler because he's going to get catch and run opportunities. So you need a physical, rangy guy on him. Spoon plays bigger than he really is. You might think like, hey, Woolen on Devontae Adams might be the way to go, especially down the red zone where he's become a real target for them. I think he's caught 9 touchdowns, and he only has like 40-something catches. So his slugging percentage is off the charts. Him and Stafford have really got a rapport going on down there. So I think to me, I think it's about the matchups, and that's what I'm interested to see. I think Nakua's going to get the ball a bunch, but can you knock him down when he gets the ball?
I think the matchups, will be really interesting. I also think from a coverage standpoint with this side of ball, it's going to be really interesting to see the kind of technique these cover guys play for the Seahawks. They've played the second most press coverage snaps in the league this season.
That's right, yeah.
And this kind of relates with what you want to do against the Rams is, Chris, you talked about the time to pressure, 2.5 seconds. That's the clock that Stafford's going to have going into his head. That's when he's got to get the ball out of his hands. The way you can disrupt that timing, make him hold the ball a little bit longer, is rerouting those receivers to the line of scrimmage, Nakua, Adams, those guys. And you have the guys to do it. With Woolen, Spoon, they have really good length for cover guys, so they'll be able to get those routes kind of jammed and try to disrupt that timing, make Stafford hold the ball a little longer. Because as you guys know, that split second, that could be the difference between a completion and a sack.
We love aggressive DBs, man. If we hear press attached to a call or, whatever the code word is, like, yeah, dudes are getting chubby there, Bo,
Yeah.
So
I'm always chubby, though.
I know. And what do you think about that, Nate?
You guys gotta chill.
I just want to say something real quick, though, Noel, and this is along the lines of what you were saying earlier, too, Chris. I could envision a world just with the pressure that the Seahawks bring, like a world in which the Rams offensively go to a lot more like boot, like screen game, stuff to like slow that down. You remember the like, I feel like this is like almost like more of the Shanahan style, like outside zone boots. And maybe getting away from a little bit of that 13 personnel and going kind of smaller, trying to rip some outside zones early, then coming back with boots, some of the perimeter, quick passes on the perimeter that are really like design runs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that might be the way they go. And then maybe even like some tempo early. I wouldn't be surprised if they completely change it up like that just to try to get the Seahawks out of their comfort zone.
That's a great call, Bo. They love the screen game in the red zone, the Rams do. And I actually just looked it up. They are by far the best screen team in the league, both EPA per play and success rate. So that's definitely something they should go to.
Man, I just feel like watching Seattle, the speed that they have on the field. They're like, you talk about those rangy backers and Imanwari, who, by the way, has become one of maybe 2 or 3 of the most efficient blitzing anybody's.
He's so
in
fun
the
to
league.
watch, man.
I mean, that will be the game within the game. There is, hey, if they are having trouble, and like I think I could see this game being a little bit less open early in the game, like where it's like you kind of creep out a little bit, and in that circumstance, Seattle's got to fly around and knock these things down in the open field.
Imanwari generates a pressure on nearly 40% of his blitz attempts. Among DBs with at least 5 pressures, only Amani Hooker and Jacob Parrish have a higher pressure.
Parrish and those fucking slot blitzes down in Tampa. A fucking guy. Somebody's got to get him under control. He's a lot smaller than Imanwari, but he causes a lot of problems. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And probably of the 2 sides of the football, the side I'm most interested in is like, and not taking anything away from Sam Darnold because he's been awesome, but like Matt Stafford playing at this level, at this age, and this defense has been unbelievable. So we'll look at Seahawks offense. I think the matchups are very interesting here. Okay, like Emmanuel Forbes he needs to drink more milk or something because he is just not not a big guy, and he's played well for them, but I would make him tackle. I would find ways to get him in situations where he's got to tackle on the perimeter. And I don't know, like JSN's not a huge dude, but like he plays strong. And so, I if that's going to be the matchup, I'm sure he'll have help. You know, is Quinn Lake going to play nickel? He's a safety. You know, like if Shaheed's in the slot, and that's another thing. When you look at like how they envision going to get Shaheed, how he helps in different matchups among NFC elites and teams that you have to beat, like who's guarding him in the slot for them? Like that's
the thing, Chris.
Deal.
They didn't really get the chance, I feel like, last week to showcase Shaheed just because of the way that game went against, you know, the Cardinals. They ended up getting 2 defensive scores in like the first 15 or 16 minutes or whatever it was, and they came out so fast, scored so many points. Like that's been something I've been so excited to watch offensively is, you know, the Seahawks have been using big personnel to like take these deep shots. And it's like, are they going to get into more 11, try to run the ball and then kind of spread it out a little bit more, force teams to play cover 2, things like that, and then take these deep shots to Shaheed? Like, I feel like they've had, you know, a week now, obviously, or I guess 2 weeks. He's been on the team. You just feel like you're getting ready to see the final product with him that wasn't showcased last week. So
no question.
I think it could be a little bit of a coming out party for him.
We saw Shaheed last week in the backfield. I want to see, like, I feel like that's going to be a thing that we see in some big spots, you know, creative ways. They threw him a toss last week. Like, he's going to get the ball a lot. And that was just 3 days in the building. And he played, they used him. He obviously has familiarity with the defense, or the offense. Here's another thing is, like, as great as a story as Landman is, and he's a stud, and he's played his ass off, like, you know, I would attack him in coverage as well. And, you know, they made the move for McCrary, but he hasn't played defense yet, and maybe – there's a look that they throw at you this week that you haven't seen yet. Maybe they were like, well, we're not going to need him against the Niners this week, and maybe he's not ready. But maybe there is a different wrinkle that they throw at the Hawks offense from a personnel standpoint. But the game starts and finishes with this Rams front. We talked about Byron Young, obviously Fisk, Verse, Turner, bunch of studs. Poona Ford's helped out in the run game. I don't think I'm too worried about Seattle jamming the ball down our throats. I think if you're the Rams front and you can get these guys into 3rd and long, I think the left side of Seattle's offensive line might have problems. And I say that –
beat me there,
beat me there, as Byron Young and the fellas say. But, like, Gray Zabel's been great. I want to see him against a group like this, and they play with a lot of physicality. Charles Cross – he's been a lot better this year, right? The thing that I've always kind of lamented watching him play is the anchor. Well, there's a guy in number 8 that I think might line up over there a good bit. And that, to me, is the matchup to watch. You know, you've got Abe Lucas on the other side, Bradford. And it might be something as simple as, hey, like, the, you know, squeaky wheel in Bradford's the guy that's going to get beat a bunch Sunday, but I think they help him. So that side over there is going to be where I think the action's going to be. And Sundell's out in this game. So, you know, his backup, Oluwatimi, right? The Virginia cat. Depending on how he plays Sunday, he could be a Michigan guy.
That's right.
He does change things a little bit. I don't think he's quite as athletic. So, like, how are you gonna run your offense? Like, can he get out and block people in space in the screen game, that sort of thing? So I think this is going to be very interesting, and for me, it all comes down to can the front. This would be the week. Hey, nice little team you've built here, Clint Kubiak. Same offensive line plus Gray Zabel, basically, and all of a sudden you guys are really efficient. Let's find out if we can fuck this whole thing up, because this could be one of those games where all of a sudden you're looking at Seattle and being like, oh, yeah. These are the games.
Hey, Chris, do you think this could be a potential NFC championship matchup?
You don't shit on Reed's question.
No, shit on me. Shit on me.
This is a good question.
No, that was a bad one.
I had to.
Can we clip that? Shit on me.
Now, the hidden edge for me in this game is something none of us have talked about, and we usually wouldn't. But there are 3 sides, you know, on a football team. There's offense, there's defense, and there's special teams. And I think
defense
in a game like this, that's a field goal game between 2 very similar teams, this game could come down to special teams. And you look at Seattle's special teams have been a weapon. You know, they have been an absolute weapon. And the Rams special teams have been kind of a dumpster fire. and to the point where you've got kickers missing kicks. Like I kind of wonder if in some big spots you go for it. If you're not sure about the field goal, and then on top of that, they had to go sign my old buddy Jake McQuaid. So now they have he's a snapper, 2 former St. Louis Rams. Rob Havenstein was the only remaining, the last St. Louis Ram. Now they got 2 of them. So I think special teams, watch for Seattle making a big play on special teams in this game. Another reason I gave out Seattle catching 3 points, and Macon, you were like, we do a half-point thing. You were like, you want to buy your half point with Seattle, right? Get it down to 2.5. I just, in a game that it might not be a kicking outcome, I think it could be one of those weird scores. So we'll see.
Chris, do you know who the special teams coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks is?
Do I know him?
Anybody can answer off the top of your head.
Say it again.
Is it Malone?
Special teams coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm gonna be.
Is it Harbaugh?
Jay Harbaugh, son of Jim.
Oh fuck, dude! What a little coaching dynasty that he's building. That's crazy. You got Deuce Gruden in Vegas, looking like an absolute unit on the sideline, dude.
Hey, do you want to change your tone at all, Chris? If it's Harrison Mevis at kicker for the Rams, a.k.a. the thicker kicker?
I got a lot of respect for that guy and his build and the fact that, like, he looks that way. And I would love to see him with the game on the line kicking for the Rams, because that would be cinema. But, like, it doesn't make me feel much better, no.
Okay.
This guy's got a pretty normal build. And it looks funny out there when he kicks the ball. Number 92 for the Missouri Tigers.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
One thing.
Oh, the Threads.
Now, Seattle's not going to do us a whole lot of favors by going Navy, white, Navy.
Yeah,
so
it's
these
going to be an
might
ugly
get lost
game,
a little
dude.
bit.
This game sucks.
But
not football. But
the Rams are employing their midnight jerseys for the first time.
And you like this, Macon?
I
think it clashes with the helmet.
Well, only that sleeve there is in their normal blue. It's their midnight. It's not my favorite.
No,
looks like a
what they should have done for this is like an updated version of the Merlin Olsons. Deacon Jones's. If you're gonna go with the white and blue colorway,
it looks like when they were mass producing their jerseys, they messed up on this.
It does look like an error.
It looks like the shoulder, hey, this is supposed to be on the regular jerseys, but instead of it being white, someone printed.
It looks like my
black.
kid designed a uniform in Madden.
I was just gonna say.
I was like, yo, check this out, Dad. Isn't this sweet?
I was just about to say, I don't know why we're all saying this, but for whatever reason, I could see these jerseys just being like the hottest thing for them for this Christmas.
We'll
like
see.
A bunch of kids just being like, Mom, I want.
Because young people have no taste anymore, dude.
It's different. It's a different taste.
It's a different taste.
Tell that to Jackson Dart, Chris.
Yeah,
or it's something. I wonder if they do this type
in
of
uniforms.
I wonder if they do this type of research. Like, when you go on and you modify your jersey in Madden and what you want to wear. I wonder if this was
focus groups and shit.
I wonder if this is something online that they seen. Hey, so many people have put this combination together. Let's try.
No, I think they probably have focus groups and they're like, what do we think? And a bunch of new age people that I don't like it. Okay.
People buy anything that's different, bro. I told you guys, you would be shocked how many of those blue and yellow Eagles jerseys.
The Sweden, I can't even believe.
Unbelievable.
You guys also love the Kelly Greens that aren't like, you guys overhype.
You mean every person on the planet?
It's just like, it's a nice jersey, but like the way you guys overhype it is just like, I don't know.
Well, maybe it would.
Do you think ice cream is overhyped? Like,
yeah, exactly.
No, I do. The ice cream, the creamsicles.
Oh no, he's talking about ice cream, the food.
Oh,
he's saying
it's like
hate
a universally
Christmas?
beloved thing,
dude. And honestly, hey,
no,
listen,
only for Eagles fans. It's
I think
not universal.
I think what makes it stand out is that it like people love retro uniforms, and it is one of the better retro uniforms.
Things.
But it's beautiful.
The coolest thing about this jersey is just the helmet, the eagle wing. I think that's like the coolest. I don't know, like you guys, it's the color for you?
The
guys,
color's great, Kelly green.
Is it the fact that it's called Kelly Green?
No, it's just the color, dude.
The
Green's
actual...
my favorite color.
Okay, word.
So it's, I can't speak for these guys.
So all shades of green is your favorite color?
No, not every shade of green. You want me to give you a shade of green I don't love?
Yeah.
Colorado State's shade of green.
Okay.
That doesn't work for me as well. Okay.
Seattle highlighter green. Awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great. Not great.
You probably like those too. You
You
I
probably do
love the color rush jerseys, bro.
That's crazy.
I don't know why.
Did
but
you
I
like
love
when
them.
you never wore the color rush in Jacksonville, did you?
The
So you were
mustard?
before those.
mustard
Did you like the mustard ones?
I think they look good on different positions. I didn't like it on the O lineman and D lineman.
That's crazy.
But I think they looked all right.
We found somebody that likes these. These are in the colorway of. Was it Tom Herman, the coach that had the first piss chart? This is you're a bad teammate colorway, which means you're dehydrated.
Yeah, you're cramping up.
Yeah.
This is like that Grey Poupon.
Yeah. It could be. You know what? It could be okay. It could be okay.
Yeah, I know. It's fire.
Okay. It's the whole thing. All right. Shout out to Blake Bortles.
What up, Bortles?
This football season, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at first touchdown scorers with BetMGM's second chance promotion. You'll get your stake back in cash if your first touchdown scorer scores second. Instead, bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Be sure to take advantage of this offer. And if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT, and you'll get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. BetMGM, make it legendary. All right, so Kansas City, Denver, a couple things you need to know going into this game. Andy Reid is 22-4 in games following byes. Okay, so that's bad news for the Broncos. Mahomes is 13-1 against the Broncos. Josh Simmons is coming back. I think one of the biggest matchups this game is Chiefs offense in the red zone against Denver's red zone defense. They're both top 3 in those metrics. So, and the Broncos have won 10 in a row at home. So there's a lot to be excited about if you're a Broncos fan. One of the things you're not excited about is probably the quarterback play. You're excited about the record, not excited about the quarterback play. Am I?
No, 100%. Yeah.
And last week.
Smart.
That's a good answer. Good answer. There was a moment in that game, and I sent a video to Nolan last night that I narrated. But there was a moment in that game. I almost posted it on Twitter, but then I saw that Sean Payton and I follow each other on Twitter. So I didn't want him to log on and see me shitting on his play calling because I actually think he's a great play caller. But in the second half of that game, Broncos 7-7. Broncos cross midfield. They're at the 37-yard line. It's 3rd and 1. Your quarterback's been hitting cheerleaders in the head with the football all night. So I get it. Maybe you don't want him to throw the ball. You figure on 3rd and 1, big down, maybe we'll run dive solid, right? Nope, here comes Cortland Sutton in motion, and we're going to throw him the ball. And it's a bad ball because Bo Nix is getting stepped on by, I think, Wattenberg or something like that. And so now Bo Nix has thrown the ball to Cortland Sutton. It's 3rd and 1. The good thing about this play is you do get 2 guys out in the route, which is much better than 1 guy out in the route. So I like that about the call. So he has options. The bad thing is he takes a sack. And poor Mercedes Lewis, who just unpacked his fucking suitcase and he just wants to run dive solid, is trying to block an edge player. He's probably like, what the fuck is this call? It was one of the worst calls I saw all season. It was the worst call I saw last week, and I think it speaks to the fact that Nolan asked me, what do you think that call says? And I was like, I hate Bo Nix. Is that what because why else? And you tell me.
Well, why would you, if you hate Bo Nix, why would you? It doesn't make any sense. You can throw it in the bag of the fullback dive on 3rd and 20 that we ran earlier in the season. You can throw it in those
Y'all ran a fullback dive on 3rd and 20?
Yeah.
Which game was that?
It was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
But you remember it?
Yeah, I remember it because it was when we were just messing around, just
farting around,
throwing balls into the dirt.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and 20, and we run a fullback dive to the left side for 3 yards.
Fullback dive to the left side.
Yep.
I could
outside dive.
I could not believe what I saw when I saw it, and I saw it in real time. But like last night, I was watching the game back, and it was just as bad. It was actually worse watching it back. It was
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to watch that multiple times.
I don't talk when I watch film by myself, but I go, oh my God. And I already know the play happened, but I just like could not believe it. Like when I saw it a second time, I was like, what the fuck are they doing, dog? Like it was like, it just didn't make sense.
We run plays that that are outside conventional wisdom. 3rd and 1, you'd think, like what you said, a dive solid or whatever. Or if you want to throw a screen pass, let's do what we did on every other screen pass that we've done this season, where we throw it and we try to go upfield. Now, you sent a video the other day of some Broncos tight ends and receivers trying to block on those screens.
Yes.
And it hasn't worked well. Now, hopefully with little Jordan Humphrey getting back on the squad.
Big Jordan Humphrey.
Yeah, damn
More
right.
like it.
Yeah. Get a little outside, get some, tack those DBs at the,
Hell yeah.
right on the line of scrimmage and push them upfield so we can get Marvin Mims and the homies some space to run
Well,
with.
listen, I think Spag's going to have this group in the secondary ready to knock shit down on the perimeter. I think he knows that that's like where you're going to want to go. If I'm pressuring Bo Nix, I'm banking on him throwing his hot outside the numbers, and I'm banking on him looking for Cortland Sutton. So I am blitzing Bo Nix, and I am hoping that he throws it exactly where I think he's going to throw it, and I'm setting traps for him. And I also know that like he hasn't been precise enough with the football to make me pay. And so I think in this game, the interesting thing is this is like J.K. Dobbins.
Bro, it's terrorizing everyone right now. This fucking fly
This
is
fly's crazy, dude.
bro. Oh my goodness.
J.K. Dobbins is out in this game.
Yeah.
Who's your bell cow?
It's going to be a little Jaleel McLaughlin and R.J. Harvey,
So
which
I'll tell you something about
Wahoo
R.J.
wah.
Harvey.
Wahoo wah.
And I looked this up last night. He's been, I think, 142 snaps of pass on the year. And I was like, hey, Noel, how many do you think he's stayed in the block for? And I know that like some guys it's 4. You can catch it. You can count it on one hand. So if he's in the game, he's gonna have to protect some, and I would be attacking him. And if he's getting out in the route, that means you're blocking with 5. And Spags knows the look and the protection he's getting. So I think they got kind of a low-key problem here. And, it goes beyond just the run game because you're going to have to run the ball in Kansas City. Like that to me is how if I'm the Broncos, like we have to run the football. I think maybe you get the play action going. I love these linebackers for Kansas City, but they do get kind of nosy. They can lose guys in crowds, and so maybe you get some leak outs and that sort of thing, but you got to run the football. You got to keep Mahomes off the field, man. As good as your defense is, like you have to be able to run the football and control it. So Bo Nix also deleted his social media this week, so I don't know what that means or if you feel good about it, Reed.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to do the LeBron James thing.
What is that thing?
Hey, this guy's great. I'm going to do that thing too.
Is LeBron doing that thing?
I think he's talked about that in the past. Maybe when he does the playoff run, he's just
He
instituting a little
goes
early.
0 dark 30.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is going 0 dark 10.
Yep.
What?
What's the 10?
It's his number.
But what's the 30 for
That's
LeBron?
a movie with featuring Jessica Chastain and others.
Okay.
It refers to the time 12:30 in the morning. No?
Yeah, I think it does.
I think so.
And Jessica Chastain was fantastic in that movie. 0 dark 30, have you seen it?
Terrific actor, Jessica Chastain.
Great in the movie, dude. She was fucking fantastic. There were some other people in the movie. Can't remember their names.
91% Rotten Tomatoes.
It's a great movie.
It
Have
is
you
a
ever
great
seen it,
movie.
Nolan?
I don't think I have.
Yes.
This is a movie.
Yes.
Check it out.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
It's
look
good.
at Nolan.
John
crazy
Krasinski's
now.
in it
Terrible.
too.
Yeah, look at Nolan crazy now. Yeah, see?
I didn't say that. I didn't say you were crazy for not having seen it.
You're in the minority. More of us haven't.
I like
seen
being
it.
in the minority.
Yeah.
I'm a D lineman.
Well,
I'm a white
I
D
don't-
lineman.
I
I've
don't
been a
see anything
minority
other than
most of my professional
all
career.
22.
Huh?
So,
What'd you
I
say?
don't see anything other than all 22. My answer's always no.
Well, yeah, you need to check this movie out.
Make a cut up of the movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a
Just
cut
different
up.
Scenes.
I'm gonna make a cut up.
Just go through them.
So
For the Broncos, not only are they missing J.K. Dobbins, Pat Surtain is out. We're also missing Ben Powers, starting left guard, and Alex Singleton. We're thinking of him.
We are thinking about Alex Singleton, man.
Bro, you hurt my man Reed's feelings talking about Bo Nix. Why you got Reed in here upset about his team?
What do you mean?
Man?
No, he's not upset.
I can see.
I know where we stand.
He knows where they stand.
I know where they stand.
You should hear him talk about. You should hear him talk about his team on Sunday.
Don't let Chris do that to you about your confidence about Bo Nix. All right?
I'm not doing it. Y'all quarterbacks are.
I have supreme confidence in Bo Nix.
Yeah, see?
I love him, but I know where we stand.
Dude, I like Bo Nix too.
He wants me to hate Trevor, and I go back.
Don't put Bo Nix and Trevor in the
Look,
same
see
category.
that? Like, I go back sometimes, and I have to listen back to what we're saying, and like, Chris, you're good at that. You're good.
Convincing you your quarterback's bad? Maybe Trevor's good at it. Maybe Trevor's good at it. Maybe it's not a sleight of hand thing. I'm not a magician. You know what I mean?
It might be.
Calbs, you might be able to get John Mateer, maybe Lenora Sellers at the back end of the first round.
No. See, we're good. I'm good with where we're at. I know the deal.
8-2.
I'm good with the stress that comes every Sunday with Bo Nix. I'm totally fine because what have we done?
You're down
Won.
17.
We've won.
I know, but like maybe
quarter.
you need an A.J. Brown, dude.
Oh, for sure we need a damn
Maybe
A.J.
Cortland
Brown.
Sutton needs to act like A.J. Brown a little
Well,
bit.
and that's the thing. We've been shooting the ball over to Troy Franklin. Love Troy Franklin, but why are we not throwing the ball to big?
Well, because I
Cortland
think a
Sutton?
lot of people usually pay a lot of attention to Cortland Sutton.
For sure, but he
And I
catches that damn ball.
I also think Sean Payton really likes Troy Franklin.
Yeah.
Like, I think they see the explosiveness with which he plays, whether you're going to get him the ball on an RPO or like something quick or down the field, like he really likes him. Now,
Maybe it's because A.J. Brown's last name isn't synonymous with a food. What's that stupid commercial for the Eagles? You
hate the commercials too?
Well, all right. That guy? No, it's not that guy. It's the Uber Eats.
Matthew McConaughey?
It's Uber Eats.
All right.
It's Uber Eats commercial.
Bradley Cooper.
Oh, Bradley Cooper. Yeah, the guy from Silver Linings Playbook, which is also a fantastic movie, featuring Jennifer Lawrence and others.
She's also a fantastic actor, Macon.
Good actor.
She's a great actor.
Good actor.
Only stars in the league. The only stars in the league for this year are the ones where the last name has something to do with food.
That's not true.
Yeah, Baker.
That's
He's
not
out
true at
there
all.
baking.
I've never eaten a Stafford. Stafford's going to win the fucking
Darnold.
MVP. With Drake May? You're Drake May? What are you talking about? All right.
Fax is hungry.
Drake.
Fax is just hungry. It is almost dinner time.
mayonnaise.
Oh, that's a All right. So I've really enjoyed diving in this game, and it has not been for that side of the ball. It's mostly for this side of the ball. I mean, this is good on good, man. This is a lot of fun. Talked about Simmons getting back. That's huge. I think central to this conversation is how to rush him. We can talk about that in a second. But I think the biggest consideration that Vance Joseph has in this game is what kind of coverages you want to play behind your rush, because you only need 4. These dogs will hunt, man. And I think Mahomes knows it. I think Andy Reid knows it. And so the big question for me is, with Patrick Surtain down, and the zone has ticked up a little bit since he's down in a really small sample size, I for a couple reasons. If I am playing Kansas City, I would stay out of man coverage, and not because when you play Philly, I say, hey, Jalen sees man coverage better than zone coverage. It's because, Patrick Mahomes' legs, I think, are going to be the biggest factor in this game. In a game like this where, the rush is ferocious and you got good cover guys outside, it's the big back-breaking plays. And I think it's especially in the red zone, and that's maybe where you see more zone eyes, right? And obviously when you play zone, everybody's looking at the quarterback. When you play man, you got backs turned. And so rushers have to be careful about the way they rush. I would play zone and let my guys eat. I would play zone and say, hey, go get it. Don't rush scared. Don't rush slow. Because when I turned on the fucking Buffalo tape a couple weeks ago, those guys were rushing. They were rushing smart, but they were rushing. Their edges were trying to win and that sort of thing. If they do man up, I do like Rice on Chris Abrams' drain. Okay. I could see teams are taking a lot of shots at Moss, and I think Moss is a really good player, but he does deal with a lot of action. And I think it's worthy getting over there. I know Moss is a really fast white boy.
Most
but,
targeted in the league.
but Worthy is really fast.
Oh, he's gonna get
period.
He's gonna get targeted this game.
There are going to be some verticals that are going to be thrown at him just to see if you can get a PI because
Rice.
they have thrown flags on him.
Another one.
Rice is another name.
Food.
Yep. And if he stands next to Hollywood Brown, it's Brown Rice.
Rice.
But that's got a bunch of arsenic in it. So,
Really?
Yeah, Brown Rice. You want to watch that.
Okay.
Yep. Now teams do take shots at Moss. I talked about that. I think a big matchup for them is McMillan in the slot. Get guys on him in the slot. I could see Rice on him in the slot. I could see Travis Kelce on him in the slot. Like I could see Travis Kelce on Hufanga being a big matchup in this game. I think Hufanga is big in this game in the run game as well. Like you really want to avoid running at him. Like he's a real knife for them. And so, considerations. Since they are playing less man the last 2 weeks, I just think they're going to play zone because this is the best skill group they've seen since Pat left. So I just think it would be wise to play zone. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of gap scheme runs. If you want, and Bo, you know this, if you're playing dominant, flap the field kind of defense, you want to run gap scheme. Penetration kills zone. It's going to be pullers. It's going to be the run game for me, especially if you want to play man against these guys. I would stress the fuck out of the overhang players. And those RPOs that Mahomes he'll hold them for a long time, like those college looking RPOs. I think they're going to be a big part of the game, and I think you can occupy these backers' eyes. And as good as Denver is in the red zone, they are down a linebacker right now with Alex Singleton, who we are thinking about, and he's the homie. We met him at the Super Bowl. It's one of Reed's favorite players. Cool-ass fucking dude. Really good player. They're going to miss him. Strenad's going to be on the field. So, like, if you're Kansas City, how do you try to force their hand from a personnel standpoint? Do you try to keep them heavy? Do you try to keep linebackers on the field? I would. So I think that's the crux of it in the passing game is it going to be man or zone? And if they're man, like, good luck. You have to loop again. All your games have to have somebody looping flat to Patrick Mahomes' ball hand side because that is paramount when you play this guy.
I was thinking about what scares me most in this game, and obviously it's the Broncos' offense being on the field.
Bo Nix.
And then I said it. I know. I love him though. Shout out. Broncos' offense being on the field, but. Then I saw that the Chiefs are the second best offense in the league when pressured, and obviously the Broncos D-line, they lead the league in sacks. They've had this many, so it's even when you get pressure when Denver gets pressure, you're terrified because you were talking about he can leak out. Patrick Mahomes can leak out for a big run, or he can find Rashee Rice short or Travis Kelce for a big gain.
I was just going to say, like, we've talked a lot about how mobile Patrick Mahomes is and, like, how he can kill you with his feet or his eyes, like he can scramble for a first down or he can scramble and throw a deep shot to whomever. To me, I think the biggest thing is with these edge rushers from Denver who are really fucking good, it's more about rushing to the quarterback depth. Like, if these guys are killing him off the edge, sometimes if you win early with a speed rush, you know this better than me, Chris, you can keep going to that. You end up rushing past the quarterback and creating a huge B gap, especially to the defensive left, offensive right. So if you do that against Patrick Mahomes, especially if you're playing zone behind you defensively, which seems likely, like he is so comfortable in zone, knowing where his guys like Travis Kelce are and shit like that. Like, I'm just worried about the Denver defensive edge rushers burning the corner, rushing past Mahomes, and then him kind of stepping up in that B gap and finding, holes in zone with his comfortable kind of security blanket playmakers. That's what I'm worried about. So maintaining that rushing to quarterback depth is huge.
That's the problem because when you're in zone, like those guys see him threatening the flat or, climbing the pocket and it pulls coverage off. And so I think that's the catch-22. Guys have got to – it's almost like when he starts to climb the pocket, if it's not 3rd and 4 – you have to keep your feet set and, just funnel him into the middle of the field and try to hit him. Like that to me is like, hey, if he wants to step up in the middle of the field against zone coverage, like it's got to be like I-95 in there, dude. If he can get outside the pocket, he's got the sideline. It's his friend, and we all know the games he plays on the sideline. But if you get him in the middle of the field, you need to line his fucking ass up. And when I look at this offense, I do see some mismatches up front. I think Suamatea, Zach Allen is a mismatch. I think that he's got to win that mismatch, and I think Josh Simmons off the street, he's been dealing with a personal issue. He looked really good early this year, but this is Nick Bonito, and so this is a huge game for him in his young career. Like, how's his mental fortitude coming off this thing? Like, it is hard to just come in cold with all the pressure all the eyeballs that have been on him, for right or for wrong. Like, that's what it is. And so I think how those guys handle the rushers on the left side of that line are going to be huge. Obviously, the right tackle is going to lose some, but that's Patrick's vision side. He sees fucking everything, dude. He's got a pano camera in his fucking between his ears, dude. He sees everything.
Broncos are 8-2 and have scored first once in those 10 games. They are 3.5-point dogs at home.
Fourth quarter.
You're a fourth quarter team. You just got to get there against.
Got to get there.
And you know what? Chances are you'll be there. Like, you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Last year you had a missed field goal, and I remember a couple years ago when we were floating the pumpkin, we got off the river on a Thursday night, and we went on our pumpkin journey up the Delaware River. We get out. That's the game the Broncos beat them.
Yeah.
That's the one time the Broncos beat them in the last 14 matchups.
I'll be there on the river on Sunday.
Maybe you need to go back to the Delaware River.
Magic. Which of these two quarterbacks do you trust most in the fourth quarter? I'm just kidding.
That's a funny fucking day, Reed. That's funny. That's funny. Bo Nix.
Actually, Reed, I got a quick question for you regarding this game.
Potential AFC championship matchup?
I don't. Okay, so the third game of the week, and then we'll get on to the et cetera games, and we'll move a lot faster. But Tampa Bay and Buffalo, you want to talk about wind? We're going to have a 16-mile-per-hour wind in this game, and possible snow. And this is a must-win for Buffalo at home.
Too much wind.
Too much wind? What do you mean, too much wind?
I don't know.
Okay.
Did we blow you, buddy?
Yeah. So, you guys are blowing on me too much. What? All right. This is a must-win for Buffalo because they're just – and they had games like they had bad spots last year. Like the Baltimore game, the Houston game. They went down to Houston. By the way, they play at Houston next Thursday. It's going to be a short week. Like, that's going to be a dogfight with that defense. But the concerning thing about last week is I just thought they looked – I think Joe Brady's lost a step. And obviously Josh didn't play well. It's funny. I'll shit on Josh and be like, he played like shit, and you still get people like, get off his dick. People are so sensitive to Josh Allen praise. He played bad last week. He just played poorly. And honestly, this offense has been up and down ever since Josh Palmer left the lineup in the first quarter of the Atlanta game, which is a funny thing to say. But when you consider it, like, that's the only receiver they brought in the offseason. And now they're going to be without Kincaid, and that's kind of scary hours for this group. And so this is an absolute must-win for them because the Patriots are kind of pulling away in that division. They're up by a game and a half. Their schedule's fucking easy, so you've got to win these games. And you got two quarterbacks this year who honestly have had a bunch of guys missing outside. Now, Baker's had more guys missing outside and up front, but I don't know how the Bucs would look with Shavers getting targets and some of the guys that they've had to throw the ball to. Coleman, who's a first-round pick, by the way. So Baker's been missing a fuck ton of guys. Josh has just not got a full deck outside. And I mentioned Josh Palmer. I think Kansas City game kind of gave us a false sense of security because Kansas City, they dominated the middle of the field. The tight end, they didn't have anybody for them. They're going to play teams that do have people for the tight ends. They're going to play teams that, they're playing this weekend without Kincaid, and they like to run 12. They like to get tight ends on the field. So, are they gonna continue down the same path, or are you gonna mix it up a little bit this week? I think personally that in this game, if you're the Bills, you got a big play hunt. The Bucs have given up a ton of explosives. They've given up, half of their rushing yards, it feels like, this season are on explosives. They're kind of feast or famine. Beau, you've talked about that before. I would try to get them heavy I would try to absolutely get the Bucs heavy by keeping heavy personnel on the field because your receivers aren't that great. So why the fuck not? Like Hawes being on the field is worth more to me than Shavers being on the field. And so just by the look, just by getting them into a different personnel group, I would try to get them. And you know this, Bo. Like sometimes their overhang players have to walk out in the slot. You might get Anthony Nelson staring at a receiver out there. You might get somebody out there that you're like, fuck, I love this matchup. I don't care who it is. And so,
and Todd will blitz out of that kind of shit too.
No question.
So sometimes you can catch him in a blitz like that defensively, and then Shakir or someone can burn another 55-yard touchdown or whatever it is. So that'll be their big play guy. I think. I don't know, man. Like this is a game I really don't have a great feel for. Obviously, like you said, a must-win for the Bills, but it feels kind of that way for the Bucs too. Like it feels like this is going to be a good opportunity for the Bucs to kind of recapture their identity on the road a little bit. They ran the ball a little bit better last week. I don't know, man. I really don't have a great feel for this game.
Well, I got a decent feel.
It's going to be a fucking dogfight, though.
Let me just finish with the offense real quick.
Finish with the offense.
I'll finish with the offense. The thing I was going to say is you get them heavy and you throw play action behind these guys. That is something that honestly, when you dig into the numbers, the Bucs' successful play percentage allowed in base 23rd against pass, right? And then the Bucs' successful play action pass allowed percentage in base is super low too. Like they're bottom 10, 12 in the league, like considering their standard. And so like I just look at, hey, this is kind of the weakness because you don't have the guys. They're going to want to play man. I went back and looked at the game a couple years ago in 23, and in that game they had Stephon Diggs on the fucking field and they still played 30+% man. So Todd Bowles is a stubborn mofo, dude, and he don't care about Josh Allen getting out on a scramble. He scrambled for a touchdown in that game. They are going to man up. They're going to make it hard on these guys. I like play action. I also think you just absolutely have to attack the backers. Servassier Dennis, pass to Servassier.
Food.
Yeah, food and drink, beverage.
Yep.
Yeah, he gets lost in crowds, dude. And he's a fun player to watch because sometimes he'll do some really cool unorthodox shit and like, he's not been a dumpster fire in the run game or anything like that. But in the pass game, like the backers have had trouble. So to me, you cannot forget that in this game, although the Bills have not gone to the backs in the passing game a lot this year, and I fucking would if I were Joe Brady. This is like, it's a no-brainer for me. I think it's I gave out James Cook props in this game. I think it's a James Cook. I think it's a Ty Johnson game. You remember that game last year against Detroit that the backs went off for them against man coverage? I feel like this is that game where you got to get these guys involved. One of the reasons you pay James Cook all that money is he's a good runner, man. He's a really good running back, but he's also a good receiver. And so in this game, you have to attack those guys. And I would, the same way I talked about Kansas City, but even more so in this matchup. If I'm Josh Allen and if I'm Joe Brady, heavy dose of RPOs that put the edge players and the flat players in conflict. Abso-fucking-lutely, dude. That's got to be a big part of it. I was shocked by how much man they play when I went back and looked at it. They're just he ain't afraid of this group, and he won't be afraid of this group Sunday.
Calb's a couple of clubs at 6-3. Could this be a potential Super Bowl matchup?
Does anybody have anything to say about the Bucs offense? Because I can get us out of here real quick. Because I got some on the Bucs offense, but if
how much do you think it changes? Guys, doubtful.
Yeah.
If Bucky Irving is up,
it changes. If he plays, it changes. Now I'm going to assume he plays. I feel like he's going to play in this game. I don't know what you say. It doesn't change. He's not going to play.
I'm just saying. He's been practicing. Him and Godwin have been practicing. I was just saying.
Yeah. What? Okay. Both.
I mean, I love Bucky Irving. I would love to see him out on the field. We'll see. I fucking love that dude. He's got a lot of juice, a lot of energy, but he's been banged up, and I don't know how much. Like, this has got to be his first practice, right? This week, I think this is literally his first week back.
Yeah, but like they're not gonna just practice him for a week and be like, hey, maybe next week. Like they need this game. I know that they don't need it as bad as the Bills because of the division they're in, but I feel like knowing the weakness, and Rashard White and Sean Tucker have done just fine, and maybe that's you want 100% Bucky to your point, Bo, but like if Bucky Irving's in this football game, like what I saw on tape last week inside for the Buffalo Bills should be censored. It should be NC-17, dude. What they were doing to those defensive tackles, man. It was like.
And let's not forget, I mean, talking about the Bucs run game real quick. Obviously, Bucky's a huge part of that, and it feels like they're missing as good as the Rashad White and Sean Tucker are. Bucky just has a spark, and but it is important to remember, like, the Patriots have a top rushing defense, and last week the Bucs actually ran the ball. I think they had like 110 yards rushing, like, and they were committed to it. So I feel like they're going to really try to run the ball against the Bills here, and I think that'll be a huge part of their game is just running it and then just ripping the ball on deep shots to Igbuka. Like, that's kind of what it is. And then Chris, last week you were talking about Cade Otton. You're like, I think this is a Cade Otton game.
It's got to be.
Give you some flowers for that because I think he had like 8 receptions or something like that, but his target number definitely increased, and a big part of that is getting healthier in O-line. Luke Gedekke's coming back. They don't have to chip with him on every single play, so now it feels like he's going to be featured a lot more in the offense. So it'd be nice to see the Bucs offensively just kind of stick to like a relatively basic pro football offensive strategy of run the ball, get chunk yards with your tight end, and then take deep shots to your dynamic playmaker and big Boo.
Well, you said it.
Kind of what I'm expecting.
Imika big Boo.
And you said it last week. Well, we just talked about this a couple weeks ago with Detroit. Detroit mans them up. Detroit's got good rushers. They do have to chip out, right? And Otton's catching a bunch of like late leak outs. And he's catching like late angle routes and stuff at the sticks. Like, this is a game where you do want to be able to get him matched up on a safety. So I could see the great thing is, and we should have led with this, Bucky, Godwin, Nolan mentioned Godwin being back's huge. How about the fact that McMillan, he was a stud for them in December. I think people forgot he exists. Like, if they ever get a full deck on the field, there's a reason people like me think they go a long way in the playoffs. What they've been able to do without these guys has been pretty damn impressive. But
Hez Johnson is nice too, man. Like, those two young wide receivers who were kind of afterthoughts in the stable that is the Bucs wide receiver room. They've been playing really well. I'm talking about Hez Johnson and Big Boo. Those are two good young players.
Yeah, I thought Tez. Listen, Baker's just got to get him the damn ball. I mean, like, there were moments in that Detroit game a couple weeks ago where he was wide open, and because of the aggressive nature of the way they played. Now talking about Buffalo, they're going to play zone, like, and maybe they come out and they say, hey, we're going to man you up a little bit. That was a wrinkle they threw into the Kansas City game early. But if they play zone, Ibuka's got like over 600 yards against zone this year. Like, him and Baker have shredded zone. So, like, I'm a little bit nervous about McDermott in this game and that tendency. The big thing for the Bucs, and I think this comes out. This is why the run game's so big, Bo. Like, and you could run for 100 last week or whatever, but third downs for them have been terrible this year compared to who they were last year. You couldn't get them off the fucking field. A lot of that has to do with down and distance. A lot of it has to do with the guys outside. But I would be in third and manageable as much as I could be, and that's why the run game's so big here. To go on the road and win, though, in Buffalo, it's going to be loud. It's going to be hostile territory. It's a good thing they have most of their offensive linemen back, because that's where it's really difficult, is to travel and communicate with that group on the road. It's a good thing Gedekke's back. They are missing, Bredesen, and you had Feeney play last week. But you got most of your guys back.
Feels like 30 degrees at kickoff, 19-mile-an-hour winds.
Golly, dude.
And we're not in high mark yet.
Whew, this could be an under. I don't know why I didn't give out the under. The last game went under.
It's a nice thought.
I think it was 24-18, I want to say.
Total is
Buccaneers
47.5.
cover.
It's a key number.
Cold.
Yeah, it is a key number. Slide it. You can put that in right now?
I might. Just might.
Sorry to put it that way. Okay. Let's get into the et ceteras, man. We can move through these a lot quicker. I've ranked them in terms of which games I think are going to be the most entertaining. And I think it starts with, any guesses?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, they're down the list a little bit.
San Fran, Arizona.
No.
NFC West matchup.
Minnesota, Chicago. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think this game's ripe with storylines because 9 has a hand bruise. Did you know this?
Oh.
You guys read about this?
Limited.
Don't call him 9.
Why?
Why?
That's what he wants to be called.
Why?
But he's got a hand bruise. He hit his hand on somebody's helmet last week in the third quarter, and supposedly that's why his numbers plummeted in the fourth quarter. I didn't know that. I'm not being funny. Like, I didn't know they really had it going to where they could plummet last week.
He's been great on scripted plays, like the first 2 drives of the 4 games that he started. But after that, he has fallen off a cliff, proverbial cliff. He's 10 of 13, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns on the first 2 drives of those 4 games. And then with a plus .34 EPA per dropback, that's 4th among passers with at least 100 passing attempts. From that drive on, he has the lowest completion percentage at 50.5 and the lowest EPA per dropback among the same group of quarterbacks, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
You kind of wonder if they just have the training wheels on heavy, right? Like where it's like, the script of the game, hey, we know where we're going. These are predetermined looks. These are looks you're going to get, that sort of thing. As the game goes on and he's in the deep end. And he's a young player. This is his rookie year. I'm giving him some grace here. I'm not like saying he ain't this, that, and the third. But I do think he might struggle a little bit as the game goes on because it is the deep end for him. Macon, there's an interesting quote I wanted you to read.
If you get your hand slammed in a car door, it's going to feel different for everything you do with that hand, he said. There's no excuses. We're warriors and we've got to push through.
But is getting your hand slammed in the door the same thing as hitting your hand on the helmet?
No, I think getting your hand slammed in the door hurts worse than
that's what I was about to say. Like that's like way different. But, a knuckle slap like on a helmet, like I feel like does hurt.
He's coming through a throwing motion too, like that. He hit that hard.
Hey, buddy.
What?
I
just didn't think the car door thing, which could happen to like a lady at Whole Foods, matched up with the warrior thing. That was all. It was just funny. It was a funny quote. This guy's going to have some good quotes. God forbid he starts going off, and I hope he does because I like him. I got buddies that know him from the South Side, say he's a great guy.
Hey,
he's a fucking great kid. I want him to win, and if he wins, the quotes are going to be unbelievable.
Nine's hand was proverbially slammed in a car door down 17-6 to the Chicago Bears in Week 1.
Yeah,
he followed that up with touchdown drive, touchdown drive, touchdown drive.
That's true. That's true, and that was a low-scoring ball
NFC
game.
Player of the Week.
And it kind of was the inverse of how we've looked at the scripts of these Minnesota games, where like lately they've come out hot. It tailed off as the game went on. They got better as that game got going. Why do I feel like this hand thing turns into a thing, though? I might be wrong, but you don't see it a lot. Quarterback throwing hand bruise, missing time early in the week. Like
first it was the hand.
It's a little sketchy. And I think on the other side of the football, Flora is going to have to keep Caleb in the pocket. He's been fantastic rolling right. That's one of the most dangerous. You can boot him away from his throwing hand. This guy's getting close to arriving. And I got to call it how I see it. I think he's playing some pretty fucking good quarterback. I know there's people that are
I actually have something I noticed about that, Chris. I think lately, and Nolan, if you have anything specific on this, please hop in and back me up. But I feel like historically, like Caleb has always been a scramble to throw type guy, and I think he's been so much more effective, like scrambling with his feet and just running it. I think I saw something that he's maybe like only completing 25% of his passes out of the pocket on the move, but in critical moments, like he's actually picking up a lot of stuff with his feet. And that's a pretty good evolution for him, especially against Florida's defense, kind of like what I was talking about with Todd's defense. Like you have those blitzes, if they don't get home and the quarterback sneaks out, like he can really gain some yardage just with his feet. So
I bet you Flo, just knowing Flo, he is thinking this week, I can blitz you, and I will, because that's what I do. I'm not going to let some 100%. Kid who can break a couple tackles scare me out of fucking bringing the heat. Like they're going to bring the heat, but the point is well made, Bo, where it's like you got to be careful with this guy. He is that kind of elusive in the pocket, and he's like got great vision for edge rushers. Like if you watch him play, like I've seen edge rushers like Grenard one time missed him in that first game, and Caleb it was so unorthodox the way he escaped Grenard that I can't even describe it. It's like he has eyes in the side of his head. And for guys that are edge pressure guys or edge rushers, you got to be really careful. He can pop right out and break contained. So that to me is the big theme of the game. And the good thing, Bo, that numbers do back up is he's not taking as many sacks this year. And so this is a big week to continue doing that. The Bears have to win their first division game. This would be a big win for them. They don't have one yet. I think they can compete in that division in the coming years, and I think right now they are competing in that division. So this would be a big opportunity for them on the road to have a signature win.
Caleb, sack rate this season, 4.6%. In 2025, it was 10.8. In 3 games against the Vikings that he's played, against Brian Flores, he's taken a total of 6 sacks. So 2 a game, that's pretty low.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Bailing out with intention as opposed to like at USC playing Tecmo Bowl, just trying to buy more time.
Yeah, because something's going to come open. I got time. And I'm the most talented person on the field, where now he is one of the most talented people on the field. And for the Vikings, they have injuries. I think Grenard might be out.
Yeah, that's the one that obviously relates to what we're talking about here. Grenard does not practice this week. He left last week's game with a shoulder injury, so that's a little bit of a blow to that pass rush group.
It's also a blow to them in the run game, just from a standpoint of like the experience. Dallas Turner's a big body, but one, he's not as productive a rusher, and 2, we talked about with Van Ginkel off the field, like how does that shrink your playbook? There are certain things that I think you might ask Grenard to do that you can't ask Dallas Turner to do. And so I think Ben Johnson will be looking at him like, we're going to throw a lot of stuff at this guy. So we'll see. I mean, Chicago, they don't have the corners. You would think you'd be able to win some of these matchups outside, but I have not seen JJ making people pay outside the numbers since that game the first time with regularity, with precision. The next game, in my opinion, very, very interesting game. It is an interim head coach game. It features Jameis Winston. It is a possible Hemingway game. This could be our Hemingway game, which we give to the
I could
Drunkest
totally
game
see
of the week.
that.
This is
I could
Green Bay at
totally
New
see
York.
that.
What's the bigger bump for the Giants? Is it Jameis or is it the interim head coach?
Double bump, dude.
Kafka, my old
They
teammate.
complement each other.
You did play with him.
Yeah.
Is he cool?
He was cool. He was cool. We won the East-West Shrine game.
Dude, that was like
Together
the
in
Kevin Hart,
2010.
LeBron James commercial where he's like, I got Shaq out here.
You said what?
Talking about?
What was it?
You know a commercial I'm talking about where Kevin Hart and LeBron are interviewing each other, and he's like,
How big is that?
Shaq out here.
Oh, yeah.
How big is that for the team?
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
huge.
It's huge.
Huge.
He probably said something like, I don't know what he said, but what were we saying?
Kafka.
Yeah, your teammate. You played with him.
Yeah.
What was he like?
He was a winner.
Okay. There you go. I think the interim head coach thing is interesting because you have a bias where you're like, it's easy to remember when an interim head coach wins a game because it's shocking, right? Like, and they're 7-7, I think, since 2020, and you've got a couple of my favorites. In my time covering the league, you had the Romeo Crennel era where he was like 75 years old, and they're like, "Hey, just coach the season out, bro."
Big role.
Or the Rizzy guy down in New Orleans. You had the Antonio Pierce Giants game, 30-6, I think it was.
It's funny you say that. Maybe he calls him. Romeo Crennel was our coach for that All-Star game. He coached Kafka.
Oh, you think you might call him to get some tips?
I mean,
how can I fix Shane Bowen?
Or if he goes through history, like you said, how many interim coaches actually win a game?
Yeah, he's
Might
like,
be
man, I
cool
got to
to
dial
hit
up
him
old
up."
Rome. I
We
hope
have
he's got his feet
Bisaccia,
up
too.
somewhere. But Rich Bisaccia was a legend as an interim head coach. But I think what's interesting, I called a guy I know that was an interim head coach, and I was like, hey, like, what are the considerations? Like, what, when you remember the time that you were an interim head coach, like, what was it like? And he said, it's not what you want. He said, I had 5 head coaches call and say, don't take it. He said, if you do, negotiate so the games don't count against your record. And he said some of the keys are you need to find lieutenants. You need to find people that are on your side in the building, and find players and say, like, hey, don't be a rat. I'm not asking you to be a rat, but, like, what's been wrong? And obviously being an interim head coach, and this was brought up, is like being in the building, you see all the blind spots the head coach can't see. Mm-hmm. You're looking at it from a different vantage point. And so, honestly, it sounds a bit like a military coup, right? It's like you got to find lieutenants, you got to find people that are on your side, and then you go over to the other side of the ball. And in this case, Kafka, I would imagine, I would hope, would meddle in what Shane Bowen's doing or not doing. He hasn't had probably he hasn't enjoyed the hierarchy where he could walk over and be like, hey, do this differently. And so I think that plays into it. Like maybe they do something different defensively this week. And my favorite quote that I heard in this conversation with unnamed former interim head coach, "You're like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest." So it doesn't sound like a lot of fun to be a fucking. It doesn't sound like a lot of fun to be a fucking an interim head coach. But this is a spot where he can win everybody over, man. The first thing he did.
I got a lieutenant for you.
Who is that?
That's Lieutenant Mike Rowe, wide receivers coach, New York Giants.
That's Mike Groh.
That's Mike Rowe.
Oh, man.
Oh, he might be a lieutenant for Kafka. That's a really
right.
good. That's quick AI, isn't
Thank
it?
you, yeah.
Damn, dude, that's pretty good AI there.
Thank you, guys.
What up, Mike?
Appreciate that.
I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
By the way, had lunch with his dad a couple days ago.
Nice.
Did.
Legendary Al Groh. So,
Facing the fan.
I'm really curious to. Obviously, the game comes down to for Green Bay getting their offense going again, and I think it's keeping the verticals from hurting you, because I think that's what Jameis Winston's going to do. Is they're going to take some shots, like that's more him. But I think the big matchup in this game is Green Bay's really pedestrian offensive line against a very good defensive line up front for the Giants.
Respectfully,
Yeah.
as a guy who may have played on some 2-8 football teams,
Yeah.
you got to go 100% because everything is on tape, or is there some like Mykonos?
It's so hard to, because, and I'm not trying to be like cool about it, but like for me, it was always like, hey man, like they're filming this, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like you better fly the fuck around.
But that's like one of those
you
things
don't-
that
nobody
depends on the people in the room. Like I feel like if there's a lot more vets, like maybe it's something that like Jameis or Russ or someone says like, hey guys, like even things aren't going well. Like
Hopefully
remember,
Jameis and not Russ. Yeah.
Like remember, this is all on tape. But I can see for like young guys who like you don't really think about it like that, you might squander off some opportunities right now, not thinking like, hey, I should be going harder in practice now. I should be making sure the film I have that's going to be circulating for me, like they can see that I'm still going hard while the team isn't doing well.
Yeah, so it's almost like scout team becomes really like ramps it up a little bit because everybody's auditioning and that sort of thing.
But now everyone has a chance. You have to think about it like that. Like, hey, it's a new coach, new mind. Like, you don't know what's going on. So if you're a guy that maybe you think you're being slighted and, hey, I play better than him or I practice hard, you better keep it going because this might be your chance.
To answer your question, though, I think there are two different kind of guys in the locker room, and there's a spectrum of people that, motivated by different things. Right, but ultimately two people that are kind of like, hey, I'm here for the check, and hey, I'm a football player by trade, and my signature's on this thing. The people who are there for a check don't often come up and hang out with the people who are football players and talk about, like, hey, walk into the D-line room and be like, hey, I'm planning my vacation. We want to fucking kick your ass. Like, get out of here. Mm-hmm. There's certainly... You do feel it sometimes when you're on a bad team that some days it can feel like the last day of school on like a Wednesday practice where it's like people are just out there. But for the most part, like it's almost more stressful because of the nature of like, I don't know there's insecurity. I don't know what this is going to look like next year. And the next guy coming in is looking at this film. So, yeah. And it depends on how much clout you got, Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. Hey, Make, who do you think should be the next guy? As a Giants fan, as the resident Giants fan, who should be the next guy?
Stop me if any part of this profile sounds off to you guys, okay?
Sure.
Previous head coaching experience. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Playoff success as an NFL head coach.
I like that.
Worked his way up from volunteer assistant to GA, all the way up, coordinator to head coach. Has coached under Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
Ever heard of him?
Yeah.
History of developing quarterbacks. Jackson Dart, young quarterback in New York.
Oh, God.
What? Has coached under Nick Saban. All right. As an assistant, has 5 Super Bowl rings and a national championship ring in college. No stranger to the...
Is he a coach right now, Macon?
No, he's not.
Not Nick Saban.
No stranger to the New York media. 50 years old. Nice little age for a...
So coached under Bill.
Yep.
50 years old. He's coached in college.
Under Saban.
He's worked with quarterbacks.
Oh, the Ole Miss guy.
It's not Lane Kiffin.
Oh.
No, because the Lane Kiffin thing, I'll just say this. Like, I think Lane's quirky enough that, like, that doesn't play as well in the pros. Like, we've seen it time and time again, dude. Yeah. You know, it's like the minute you start losing, everybody's like, this guy's fucking... Like, the first week, everybody's like, man, Lane's funny. That's the guy I'm thinking of. No, I know. I'm thinking the same thing. But, like, Lane, the first week's like, man, this guy's so funny. But then, like, 3 weeks in, you're like, what the fuck did he just say? It's, like, cute when you're at Ole Miss. And I love Lane Kiffin, the college football coach. And if I was Lane Kiffin, I wouldn't want to fucking coach in the pros because he's got that shit down. Okay, so he's coached at Bama. I know I'm forgetting something. Was he on the one Belichick team I was on, or no? Was he on that staff?
Ooh, that's a good question.
He's worked with quarterbacks.
I can't look it up because of my damn
Is it
screen.
Mike Groh?
It's not.
Because hold on.
Are you
Bill
sure?
O'Brien?
Nope, but that's getting warmer.
Oh.
Josh McDaniels?
Nope. Nice name.
Hold on a second.
Josh
He's not a coach
McCown.
right now?
You're saying Brian Daboll.
It's Brian
You're being
Dable.
funny and saying Brian Daboll.
Brian Dable.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
Goddamn, we did all that just for that.
A decent candidate. No. Clearly a good relationship with the quarterback. Offensive background, success everywhere. It's going to get a little
made
respite.
that face after he said the third clue. Like, yo, like, why is he doing this?
Well, because I was like, no, he's not doing it.
Okay, can I not do it for a second?
Okay, yeah, no, don't.
It's going to be Jeff Hafley.
Right.
There is one thing that the New York Giants do, and that's take care of Boston College Eagles. John Mara is obsessed with Boston College Eagles. They hire their asses. They draft their asses.
Fire their asses.
They love their asses.
Yeah.
Tom Coughlin, Boston College Eagle.
It's their Rutgers, like New England and Bill with Rutgers.
Exactly. I eat my hat
Weird
if the
kink.
next coach is not Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator, Green Bay Packers.
You gonna cut it up in pieces?
No, I'll eat it whole.
Because they're gonna hire like fucking Lane Kiffin.
Hey, I don't think the shine is off Cliff, by the way. Oh, they figured out Jaden Daniels in year 2. He's hurt. He's hurt.
Yeah, he's
Cliff
hurt
has
that
had
the
previous
roster
experience.
is falling off a cliff.
Yeah. But, you tend to go with the girl who's not like the previous girl, so they probably go defense.
I like defense because of that rule, but also because you have a strength. You
Yeah.
have something to build around on that side of the ball. But yeah, I think Hafley would be a great one. If I got an idea for the Packers, if LaFleur's gone,
Brian Dable.
Hafley.
Yeah. Hey, LaFleur's gone.
And maybe
York
we shouldn't
Giants.
even be talking about LaFleur going. I really like Matt. It's just I don't like the way their offense is playing right now. I know it's not. We haven't been the only show talking about that seat. It's like in the car when you got five settings for your butt getting hot. He's like 1 right now. He's not 3. He's not 4. It's like his cheeks are warm.
I think the mustache alone puts him at 1.
Yeah, but there are 5 fucking little LED bars. I'm not saying his seat's like Mike McDaniel.
So that's
hot.
one fancy ass motor vehicle you're riding in with.
Hell yeah, or 5.
Damn.
Dude, does my Tundra even have seat heaters? Yeah, I think I do have them.
Yeah, you do.
I do. But when I ride my wife's bougie ass car, I put those motherfuckers on.
Put me on a 4.
I put it on a 4. You got any other coaches? That's a pretty good take there.
Yeah. Hafley, Kingsbury, or Dable.
Or Dayball.
Dable. Can you do
But
that?
Kafka, no.
Can you fire a coach and then hire him again?
Sure can. New York Yankees.
When did they do that?
What's his face? Steinbrenner hired the same dude, what? Line?
Well, there's fuck baseball, but ask Jason Kelsey.
Yankees rehire
Kelsey loves baseball.
Martin. Billy Martin.
Billy Martin.
Billy Martin. Interesting.
What's the angle? You get him at a cheaper number?
He's been to Mykonos for a couple months.
No, you humble him.
He's humbled.
He's humbled.
Good use of the word humble, proper usage.
Yeah.
He's chilling out.
Yeah.
You know how they have the tell-all stories after that say he couldn't get along with his coaches. He threw tantrums. Doesn't throw.
He's taking the Penn State job.
Because he's wearing the gear.
Yeah,
out of
fuck
the
yeah. He
house.
walked out of the house. His first public appearance, he had some Penn State gear on. He's a Penn State guy. Penn State James Franklin.
Yeah. Eli Drinkwitz, Bob Chesney.
What if James Franklin is the coach of the New York Giants?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, Abdul Carter, right?
I got bad news for you. We're 3 plays at a time here.
I don't think the
This
Giants.
passing attack's going to look a little different.
I don't think the Giants require a charismatic recruiter.
Right. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. What was the next one for me? If the Steelers can't get going offensively this week, you can stick a fork in them. You can stick a fork in them. They're 5 of 33 on third downs the last 3 weeks. They're playing this Cincinnati. 5 of 33, brother. Do the math on that. Okay? And it's the Flacco against Tomlin thing, which is becoming a really fun thing.
26th total meeting between the two. In their last 11, Flacco's 7-3-1 against the spread.
I wonder what they do outside because they put Ramsey at safety. Is that going to change anything in this matchup? Is the fact that the Steelers are on death's door going to change? I'm death's door, they're not eliminated, but if they can't beat this team and their offense doesn't show up in this game, then it is probably over for them without being over officially.
Is it Steelers on offense, Bengals on the defense? Is it a wise strategy by the Bengals just to rush 3 or rush 4, drop everybody else in coverage because you know the ball is coming out fast anyway?
Well, I don't know. It depends on how you get to those looks. There will be quick passing in this game.
Yeah.
If the Steelers are smart, they're going to get the ball out of his hand. That's what he wants to do anyways. The pass rush shouldn't be a big issue. It's been a big issue. It's a far cry from going to L.A. and having to face Khalil Mack and Tooley and those guys. Like, they've been fucking dominant. But, if I'm Al Golden, my old ball coach, I'm going to sit on the underneath stuff. And if I get beat over the top, I get beat over the top. You know, who's going to do it? DK Metcalf? Chances are you got at least a 70% chance they're going to be on a different page. The ball is going to be, over his shoulder and he's looking here or whatever. It's just the efficiency that those two play with right now.
Not good.
It's not great. So, to me, I'm like, all right, beat me deep. Hold on the ball and beat me deep. I'm going to play aggressive if I can. Now, I don't know that Al's going to do that. And, it's easy for me sitting in this chair, to play DC when it's not my job. But, yeah, I would be aggressive. And the thing for Cincinnati was they ran the ball in that game, in that first game. So that to me is going to be as big a deal as anything in this game. Is if they can run the ball, great. But if they're one-dimensional, Steelers absolutely have to kill Joe Flacco.
Can I
Not unalive, but you know what I'm saying.
Speaking of
Guy's my age. Same draft class, dude.
Speaking of
I fell the other night, dude. I had an old guy fall. It was
What about Joe Burrow returning to practice with the Bengals at 3-6 and Patriots, Ravens, Bills, Ravens up next?
So the thing about Joe Burrow coming back to practice is if they want him to play, conceivably, they still play the Ravens twice, right?
You just got to beat them.
No, I know, but they think they can. They did it last year. I think one of those games.
And you have to win
they
this one.
blew a big fucking lead last year. They match up well against the Ravens. They match up well against the Ravens defense. The problem is, it's this weekend. You got to win this game. And the problem's been for them the other games, like the dropping of the Jets game, the dropping of the Bears game, that puts you in a spot where you're like, does he need to come back?
Right.
Imagine they won those 2 games.
I know.
And boy, I'm glad Nate's not in here because Nate would have been like, well, if for a 5th, we'd all be drunk. Well, all I'm saying is if they had won those 2 games, it'd be lit. Everybody would be like, damn, Joe Burrow's coming back. Now it's like, don't do it, brother. And that's honestly what I worry about is him changing his career trajectory to try to – you're not trying to be a hero, but you feel such pressure as a player, and I couldn't imagine being a franchise quarterback, but like you feel tremendous pressure to play. I always tell a story about like when I was hurt in St. Louis. I took pride in not being hurt, and then I was hurt, and they IR me, and I remember walking around the building feeling like everybody was looking at me like they were disappointed in me. It was real shit. Like everybody's like, why is everybody looking at me? They all think I need to hurry up and get back. Like meanwhile, I can't move. But you think that way, and the truth is nobody's thinking about you. Everybody's thinking about their own shit. That's not necessarily the case with the quarterback, and that's what's tough for him. Is like everybody's looking at him every day he comes in the building like, when are you back? Because like we're trying to do this thing where we win football games, and like we've already been through training camp, and this is a very tough job. So it'd be great to have a quarterback. So anyways, Chargers, Jacksonville, it's your turn. Facts.
It's a turnaround game.
That's right.
Duval. Big turnaround game. But what I am excited about.
He doesn't want to acknowledge that
what I am excited about is our new acquisition, because last week it looked good, a little sample size of what that can be when Trevor's throwing to a receiver that can actually catch the ball. You don't have to worry about him dropping the rock. So I'm excited to see that expanded. It's not good hearing that Travis Hunter is done for the year, but at the same time, maybe it'll help everyone in that organization focus up a little bit more. You don't got to worry about what's going on, if he's going to play offense, if he's going to play defense. He's gone for this year, so we have to figure it out. We have to figure it out without him. So maybe that will help out.
You're Ewing theorying your first-round pick that you gave up capital to.
But what else are we supposed to do right now? Like,
no, I know.
He's done for the year. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like it was a distraction in there, like, with people, and maybe, hey, why is he playing both sides? Why isn't he just playing here? Or why isn't he playing more here? Now they don't have to do any of that, and guys need to step up ownership of roles this year and make some plays. Like, that's all it is. Make some plays, finish the game, and maybe our special teams, they can save us. They've been doing well this year. Parker Washington is amazing on returns. He's an amazing wide receiver. But the only edge I could think about right now for the Jaguars is that we somehow end up being that special teams unit that finds a way to get some points on the board every game.
Well, and also Justin Herbert could see ghosts. It's a scene of the crime.
Well, it is a scene of the crime. You might get Dark Herbo this weekend where he's all he's revenge-minded. And I think this is crazy. Herbert's second in the league in passing yards. He's first in rushing yards at quarterback. He's fourth in total touchdowns. He's cooking right now, and he should be in the conversation. We keep putting people in the MVP conversation. I think Drake should be there. I think Stafford should be there. I think he should be there. I don't think Josh has played well enough to be there this year at all. So, and things could change, but these are the three guys, if you're doing like the Heisman watch for me this year, because of the context of what of how they've been playing football and who they have around them. And Stafford, he's obviously got a full deck, but
like you said, like the thing is, remember when Baker was cooking and everyone was chanting MVP and stuff, and that has changed a little bit. But think about who Justin Herbert doesn't have around him. Like, he's been doing it with a dog shit O-line, 32 of 32. You know what I mean? Which to me makes it that much more impressive. His toughness and just the way he's getting it done for the Chargers. Bax, I think your Jags are in a little bit of trouble, brother.
Yeah, I do too.
I'd be worried.
But
yeah,
you know how it is.
Chargers as favorites off a night game, 10-1 straight up in their last 11 games. That's a fucking pretty useless stat there, but I feel like maybe you gave out the Jags this week. I took the other side. What do you see?
Jags money line?
It's just a vibe thing?
I only see the signal from Las Vegas.
It's a zag.
The 2.5 point line. I don't know why that's not 4.5 for the Chargers. It's 2.5.
Well, they're on the road.
I understand that. They seem to be a lot better.
You think they're a touchdown better though? Because I
don't think it's a 3-point swing anymore.
Yeah, we'll see. I think Minner making Lawrence earn it's going to be an interesting thing. And you talk about the middle of the field. That you lost Brian Thomas Jr., you've lost Travis Hunter. Now you've got Jacoby Meyer. You have Washington, who we love. winning in the middle of the field is going to be tough against this group. They got Henley's a fucking stud, and Derwin James is a fucking stud. Like, they just I was kind of cold on their defense for a second in the middle of the season, but what they did last week, and maybe it's just the way the Steelers look, that's going to be hard. He's going to make you earn it and make you drive the field and not make a mistake. Let's get to the next one, Carolina, Atlanta. I had a name for this, but I don't think I can say it. It's the bipolar bowl, dude. Like, I'm fine. I might have it. Fucking these teams, you never know what you're going to get with either team, dude. You never know what you're going to get with either team. It's crazy to me how variable these two teams are. And within the matchup, like late last year, you got an overtime game where both quarterbacks were slinging it late in the season. Then you get a 30-0 game this season early in the year. This is in the first game that Atlanta lost 30-0. Penix had 50 more passing yards than Bryce Young. Falcons outgained Carolina by over 100 yards. They had more first downs. They had less penalties. They were better on third down, and they lost 30-0. And this is how. 0 for 3 on fourth down, 3 turnovers, and never got in the red zone. You know, it amounts to 6 turnovers. Honestly, like sometimes we look at fourth downs as like, oh, well, they went for it. When you don't get it, it's a turnover. And that's why they call it a turnover on downs. And so when you add up all that, it kind of explains the situation. I also think like this is a game that comes down to how Penix handles Ivero's coverages behind him. They play a ton of zone. Can they fool him? Can you funnel Penix into throwing into some areas of the field that he's less comfortable? And I think it's going to be about stopping the run game for Carolina, namely perimeter run, outside zone, staying out of third and long. I actually like Carolina in this spot. They're cats that bark like dogs, dude. They are cats that bark like dogs. When they are dogs in a game, it feels like they figure it out. This might be a good Carolina spot.
The one hurdle for Carolina to overcome, Bryce Young against the blitz this season, when we talk about Ulbrich on those third downs, 57.3 passer rating against the blitz, ranks 36th out of quarterbacks with at least 25 dropbacks.
Yeah, 36 not good. There's only 32 starting quarterbacks. The my Prince's King's Guard needs to do a better job, but he's got to do a better job. He's got to do a better job. So we'll see. I feel like it's an under. Don't you? No?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It feels like an under.
Atlanta can score 13 or 43.
I know, but like the chances of both these teams scoring, doesn't that feel like a little like far-fetched?
Mm-hmm. Total's 42.5.
Yeah, total's down low. Key number there.
Are we playing Michael Penix?
We are. Oh, the video? Yeah, play it.
I know you lean on your faith, but like who do you lean on to like help you? Like we haven't played quarterback, so do you lean on like a former quarterback or your coaches to kind of just help you kind of assess things and good and bad?
You saying like as far as on the field?
Yeah, both. Like, that help you mentally and physically.
No, like mentally, I like my fiance. She's always there for me. So I know whenever I get home, it doesn't matter how I played. She's always gonna be there for me. She's gonna have a smile on her face and give me a hug and make me feel good no matter what. But as far as like physically, the on the field stuff, it's not nobody that I'll talk to like as far as another quarterback or anything like that. You know, I do have people reach out to me. I do have quarterback coaches though back at home that reach out to me as well. You know, tell me, hey, like you need to clean this up, clean that up. You know, and everything will be good. So those guys help me.
So I just want to make sure that before we analyze this, are we under the assumption that he understood the question properly?
Yes.
Okay, then this is a bad thing. And this is a big red flag. It says a lot about what Kirk Cousins has been or not been to him. It says a lot about Zach Robinson. It says a lot about Raheem Morris. It says a lot about their entire staff. Now, I don't know if the staff would answer that question differently and be like, what are you fucking kidding me? We watch film with you every night after practice, or like you absolutely can confide in me on the sideline, but that's a damning kind of remark. And it makes me wonder if next year if this staff in there, if we're going to be reading articles akin to the one we read in Chicago. And that, to me, is the biggest hope for a bright future for Michael Penix Jr., because he's a guy we've been rooting for, but I have not, and I've said this out loud, like, I have not loved the development this year. I have not loved what I've seen from that position in Atlanta. And yeah, it's a function of probably the offense as well. But if that's true, that's really damning if he feels that way. Okay, on to the next game. We've got San Francisco, Arizona here. I don't really have much on this game other than the fact that I think Arizona bounces back, dude. Arizona's not as bad as they looked last week. Arizona went up to Seattle, and they got jumped by the biggest, baddest kid on the block in the kid's front yard, dude. Like, Seattle's really good at home. They've been better at home, at least this year, and they found ways to jump people, and that's what happened. You give up 2 fucking offensive touchdowns. I'm talking about you give up touchdowns when you're on offense on the road in an environment like that, you're going to lose the game. Like, the game starts with a bomb to JSN, and you get 2 Tank Lawrence touchdowns. I'm sorry. I think in this game, I think that this offense is gonna get it going, and I actually gave out the over. I think both offenses might get it going. I feel like this is going to be a fun, wild game down in the desert. You know, you talked about San Francisco running the ball, Macon. I do think they try to get back to that, but maybe a low-key fun game to watch, but maybe not a fun one to preview because it's too much red.
Too much red. I was about to say too much red. We would have
Too much
said it at the
fucking
same
red,
time.
dude.
Code Red. You remember Code Red, the Pepsi? That was good. You remember?
Yeah, I do.
Those were good.
Fuck yeah, that was good.
A warm welcome back to Brock Purdy, quarterback, San Francisco.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yep.
When did that come out?
Today, your guy Nick Wagoner.
Wow,
Old
my boy.
St. Louis
It's
report.
good to show you get buried in the other games, and like this might as well not have happened for me. And that to me makes the game very interesting, because he is going to be under a lot of scrutiny if they can't get this thing going and fast. If he doesn't look like Mac Jones looked, and that might be perfectly understandable because he's coming in cold, and but like he's going to be held to the standard. And this is why in the NFL it's easy to like look at the starters and be like, hey, they got it made. You're making a bunch of money, but like he's going to be held to a different standard than the backup. People automatically are always going to side with the backup and be like, we want the backup to play. And so Purdy's got to play well this week. And I do think they play well offensively. I worry about that defense.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was turf toe that Purdy was dealing with, right?
That's right.
So I'm interested to see how he moves, like how he moves around the pocket, if he looks like he's, healthy, because obviously that's something that Joe Burrow was struggling with. And they were, all the reports out of Cincinnati were how it was like a grade 3 for Burrow. I feel like that could be a little bit of an indicator as to like, what Burrow's timeline might look like too.
Kind of a big part of his game too. Somebody tell me a reason to watch Ravens-Browns. Myles Garrett. Lamar Jackson.
Browns defense is nasty.
Browns defense.
The Ravens under win
Jim
total will
Schwartz is
cash
going to-
with a loss.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Same thing with the Commanders.
Yep.
So I think these games are always interesting because the Ravens sometimes can play down to people's level, but currently they're not up. Like they're trying to get back on the horse. So this is
I have a reason for you.
give me it. Is it gonna be windy? Oh, Dylan Gabriel in the wind is chef's kiss.
And Lamar's now hurt, but will play. So handoff.
He got hurt?
He got hurt this week.
How did he get hurt?
No.
Well, he practiced Thursday. He missed yesterday's practice with knee soreness,
Yeah.
but then practiced today. So
Yeah.
I think it was probably more of a freight management move.
Freight management, and so now it's time for, and I know some fans are going to be like, hey, this new format sucks, like you don't talk about our teams as much. Well, I'm sorry, like you got to talk to your teams about that. You got to take that up with management, get them to be better, because we just can't spend the time we spend on the biggest games of the week on every game. So I do apologize, and I don't mean that to be flippant, but we have to move on now to the Bermuda Triangle game.
Leave a message.
Now the Bermuda Triangle game is a new mechanism where we have to break down one less game. On the heels of telling you I don't want to break down every game, we are going to devote one spot every week to the Bermuda Triangle game. And the Bermuda Triangle game is a game that disappears. Now,
disappearing for Monday? I'm confused on this.
No, it's not. It's really not that confusing. It's just today we're not going to preview it.
But
we just don't want to fucking talk about it.
But we just previewed
That's
every
it.
game.
You just throw it.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
He didn't because
You're
one game
forgetting the Bermuda
disappeared.
Triangle.
God,
well, then-
no, we
then-
didn't.
Welcome to the Bermuda Triangle.
No, then what?
friend.
Well, I did my Bermuda Triangle game. We did my pick for it.
No, I understand. So you guys vote on it.
Yeah, but we went through them already. So, like, what's the point of the vote?
Oh, my God. Somebody help him.
There's a game that we did not go through because we all voted and it got the majority. We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, and then
the
on
majority.
Monday.
Oh, okay.
And then on Monday.
We don't do it.
Hey, no, on Monday. No, we do
found
do it.
the game.
On Monday, we let the players decide how much we talk about it. If the players don't want to play well, we're not going to talk about it too much on Monday. If the players want to give us a good ball game, they want to be gladiators out there.
I'm confused. What's the Bermuda? I'm lost right now.
Well, that's what you'd be if you were in the
You're
Bermuda
lost
Triangle.
in the triangle.
Chris
brother.
is going to go to the Bermuda Triangle and find the game right now.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to the Bermuda Triangle and try to find the game. I'm going to go over there and try to find the game. I also want you guys to hear a really good intro for the Bermuda Triangle segment. Tanner, don't hit it yet. I was able to get these sound bites today. I woke up this morning and I said, you know what? For this shiny new segment, I want some recognizable voices to take us into the segment each and every week here at the Greenlight Podcast. Two of my favorite people to listen to on TV, and I'm so thankful that they were able to record a voice note today for the Greenlight Pod, and we're going to use these in perpetuity. The first one is like, I was so fucking happy to be having this conversation. It was crazy. Y'all know how much I love this guy. Just play it one time, will you?
The Bermuda Triangle, where football games disappear.
That's Kevin Harlan! Fucking Kevin Harlan! I texted Kevin Harlan today, dude. I hit up my boy Jimmy Traina.
awesome.
Shout out to Jimmy Traina, who's my dog, man. He's awesome. You got to check out his pod as well. And I go, bro, you know Kevin Harlan, don't you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I got a fucking big favor to ask. And he's like, he would absolutely do it. And then he's like, here's his number. I'm like, can you tell Kevin Harlan I'm going to be texting him? Like, I don't want to text him out of the blue. He is the nicest fucking guy in the world, dude. And he sent like 8 versions of that just to make sure we got what we wanted. What a pro. Yeah. He sent like 8 different variations of the Bermuda Triangle game.
It was hard to pick one because once you
They're all great.
good. They're all good. Yeah.
He's the fucking GOAT, dude. Yeah. I told him, it's funny. He asked me like, do you want excitement? Do you want this, that, and the third? I go, pretend it's a game with a total of 65. Which so I meant excitement. And then the second guy, I pulled this out of my ass. I have a mutual friend, shout out to Josh, up at Inside the NFL. This is our boy. He also works at CBS, who is a spotter of one Tony Romo.
I don't know, Jim. This one might disappear.
Yes, dude. We are big time in this motherfucker. And now I'm going to take the stage, and I'm going to go to the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle, where games go to disappear. How are you going to hear me?
That mic.
Oh, you got a microphone. Where is it?
To the right.
So it's sitting on the edge.
We burned 2 asks.
I tell you one
Harlan
thing.
and Romo
I tell you one thing. You better protect your neck in that Bermuda
for
Triangle.
the triangle.
Yeah. Protect it.
It's raining. No, I'm in the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle, Nate, so you know, is where ships and mostly airplanes get lost.
Yep.
In the Atlantic Ocean, it's down there. Triangle between Bermuda, the tip of Florida, and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
You had to say the tip.
Yeah, the tip of Florida. And I'm here in the Bermuda Triangle where we're definitely not going to talk about Tennessee and Houston. I'm definitely not going to talk to you about Tennessee and Houston. I definitely don't want to talk about what a great job Cedric Gray's been doing for Tennessee. He's a great linebacker. Their team is ass right now, as the quarterback told you. But that guy deserves to be talked about. He won't be talked about today because this is the Bermuda Triangle game. If I were to talk about this game, and I'm not going to talk about this game, it's fucking hot over here, dude.
You're in Bermuda Triangle?
Yeah, it's fucking hot, dude. I'm lost. Don't want to talk about this game. I lost the game. Where is the game? Where are the Texans? Okay. if I were going to talk about the game, I'd talk about the fact Texans offensive line is suddenly a middle of the pack group. And boy, is that a good thing, because they got to protect thick neck Davis Mills this week, who was nails down the stretch last week. If anybody saw that fucking game, I know you did, Nate. Now, the other one is that I would talk about if I were talking about this game. I would talk about the fact that Cam Ward probably needs an airbag around his helmet, because those two edge rushers have a combined 90-something pressures this year, and they are going to be teeing off on his fucking ass this week in Tennessee. But nobody is going to see it, so you're going to have to take my word for it. This week's Bermuda Triangle game is
I don't know, Jim.
hosting Houston.
This one might disappear.
Pretty hard to catch a football in the Bermuda Triangle.
That was great. I like that.
New segment alert. Beau's like, I don't know about that one. Let's finish the show with some America's teams and some miscellaneous. We'll get the fuck out of here. I appreciate you guys hanging in there. There's so much football today. I know some people don't like 3-hour podcasts, but you're here. You must like it a little bit. You must kind of like it. You kind of like it. You kind of like it. All right. What do we got?
All right, my America's team is first going to some people know in here, some people don't, but unfortunately, my girl's father had a stroke a couple of days ago, and I want to give the America's team to the Carillion Memorial Hospital, the Neuro Trauma Center down in Roanoke. They've been taking very good care of him the past couple of days, successful surgery, scary stuff. So I just want to make them America's team and just say, Charlie, hang in there. And then my next America's team is going to the Kelly Bronze Turkey Crew, finishing up this week. The turkeys are going in the freezer to be fed to everyone across America, and it was another successful season.
Successful. How many did you
for
kill?
The guys on the farm.
How many kills did you get
I
this
think
year?
it's almost 5K this year.
You killed 5,000 birds this year.
Not me personally, but But yes, 5,000 birds will be feeding families.
So you're like a drone strike operator or something, is the way you think of yourself.
No, not at all. More as I don't know, someone who feeds people.
Okay.
But those are my America's teams.
So you're like the cafeteria guy at the Green Mile.
KellyBronze.com, promo code Dr. Facts, guys.
And he gets a promo code.
What's your America's team? Go ahead, guys.
Well, I was going to say the troops, because we had a funny schedule this week. We didn't get to say Happy Veterans Day. I want to shout out especially a couple guys. I already texted these guys anyways. I've been really lucky to get to do, and Beau's done it too, Conquering Killy, climbing Kilimanjaro with a bunch of vets every year. And, you know, we involve the vets in our foundation, not like as like an act of charity. It's because like they fucking help us. Like they're go-getters, man. Like the men and women that have joined up with us to make a difference. Like you talk about thanks for your service, thanks for continuing to serve. Like it's just such, and type A is a reductive way of putting it, but just like goal-oriented, go-getter type people that like just want to make the world better. And so like, you know, I just want to say thank you to not only the vets that have served, but the vets that continue to serve in various ways in their communities. I want to shout out two guys that have been really instrumental to me in my life. And I actually texted them this the other night on some like sappy shit, but like Nate Boyer, who started Conquering Killy with me, one of my close homies, and also Fred Dumar, who I think of as like kind of an uncle, you know, legit Beau. Remember in Big Fork?
Dude, I love that guy so much. One of the biggest regrets of 2020, early 2025, I'll just say 2025, is not getting to jump out of the fucking airplane with Fred and up in.
We're going to do it.
He's the man.
We're going to do it.
He's actually, just so you know, Chris, I don't know if I've ever told you that, he's the reason I have a mustache.
Really? Freddie?
Pretty high honor.
Really?
Yeah, dude, we were in Killy. We were climbing Kilimanjaro. I was like, God damn, man, I wish I could have a mustache like that. He's like, looked me dead in the eyes. He's like, just grow one. Yes.
That's a good strategy.
I will.
But I love those guys, man. And there's countless others, man. Like we had the first above the knee amputee woman above the knee amputee to Summit Kelly. Like, that was a big deal. Like, that's a big challenge.
Yeah.
Kirstie Ennis, like, you know, Elliot Ruiz, shout out to Elliot, like, Eagles fan, Philly dude. And the first two guys I mentioned are special forces, and you know, we've got Marines that come along. We've got all types of people from different branches. So I just thank you to the vets. Hope Veterans Day was great for y'all.
The Detroit basketball Pistons are 10-2. Jalen Duren, center, Memphis, good player, along with Cade Cunningham.
The Pistons are good.
10-2.
No shit.
First in the East.
No shit. I'll give you another one.
All right.
The American Penny.
Another one. Yes.
Dude, the American Penny is RIP. They've
so
stopped
good.
they've stopped making the American Penny. Like Wednesday, they printed the last American penny.
Collect your penny.
So if you have pennies, hold on to
But
them.
did you actually know that it costs actually 4 cents to make 1 penny? That's why they're getting rid of them.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, so it just wasn't from a
So that's how our debt got like that. It was all the fucking pennies we were printing.
well, when everybody's like bartering and you know, there's bars of gold and people holding each other at gunpoint, and
Yeah.
I'll be sure to be like, I got some pennies.
Got some pennies. Copper.
Do you remember these?
Yeah.
So
Do you remember these from 5 years ago?
fresh copper?
That you haven't seen one of these. Guy puts a fucking AK in my face and just takes the penny anyways. That's how that's gonna go. All right, and
I got an America's team, boys.
go ahead.
Do you know what a skipper is, Macon?
Boat.
It's a, you know, the captain of a boat, the skipper.
Minnetonka.
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that, Cowboy, because the Minnetonka Skippers are playing the Edina Hornets in the Minnesota State semifinal tonight at 7 o'clock. Looks like kickoff happened here. And, you know, as a proud Skipper alumni, I'm very excited. I want to cheer the boys on. My number's retired, number 95. No one's wearing that on the field tonight. Pretty big deal. But
Dude, congrats on that.
Minnetonka Skippers. Go Skippers.
I'll see your Minnesota and raise you Minnesota. Hastings, Minnesota. Birthplace of the best college football player in America, Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker, Texas Tech Red Raiders. Texas Tech's number 6 in the country. Jacob Rodriguez famously was a quarterback at the
Why would
University
you
of
bring that
Virginia.
up? They beat us in our bowl game.
Dude,
They sure shouldn't have.
Dude, I used to get so mad when they
Jeepers.
beat us, and then like the next year, like Michael Crabtree played like really fucking well, and I was like sitting there watching the game, and somebody was like, "What a catch!" I was like, "You shut the fuck up." I like hated Michael Crabtree for no reason for like 2 years.
He caught that ball on the side of his ankle.
Dude, he was a great player. So, anyways, America's team. You talk about skippers, boats. The crew of the Edmund Fitzgerald, 50 years this week. I have, and this is all because of Gordon Lightfoot, because I think the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald is one of the best songs ever as far as like storytelling is concerned. And supposedly like they just threw it on the album late, and they were just like fucking around, and like supposedly one day like Gordon Lightfoot's like, let's do the ship song, and they were like, the ship song, and they're like, yeah, we've been working on it the last like week, like, and it was basically like supposedly he goes, you guys just play, I'll come in and I'll tell you when the drums come in or like whatever. And after the execs heard it, they were like, yeah, we'll throw it on the album. And it turns out to be like one of the best songs ever. An incredible story. The Edmund Fitzgerald was a big, I don't know what you would call it, like a big ship, but like what, a tanker or
The
like
pride of the
cargo
American
ship.
side.
Pride of the American side.
Tugboat.
And it was Lake Superior, and it was in November around this time this week. And when you look at like what happened to that boat, the renderings of what might have happened to that boat, like the swells were so big, supposedly like the back of the boat, I don't know what you call that, the bow, the stern.
One of the
Stern,
two.
The back, the stern.
Definitely one of the two.
Selling my boat. So it actually hit the bottom. Like that boat was so big and the swells were so big that it hit the bottom, and like it was just chaos on there, you would imagine. And Gordon Lightfoot captured it perfectly. At 7 p.m., the main hatchway gave in, and he said, fellas, it's been nice to know you. That line goes so fucking hard. What, 29 people on that ship died?
The bell rang 29 times.
Yeah.
For every man on the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Towards the end of the song, I kind of lose the lyrics.
Yep.
Fellas, it's too rough to feed you. I just think it's an amazing song. That's an America's Team for me, the crew of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I only have one more, guys, so if you're out, I can hit you with it.
The Mountain Union Purple Raiders are 10-0. Yeah, number 2 in D3.
Okay.
Led by freshman quarterback Mikey Maloney.
Oh, yeah, he's a player.
Alliance, Ohio. Shout out.
Is he a former UVA Cavalier?
No, shockingly.
No. My last America's Team is this. More music. It's Outkast. Last Friday night, I was driving home from a high school football game that I took my kids to, and they had asked for like some shitty rap music, like some new shitty rap music that like was edited. And I was like listening begrudgingly, and I'm like, guys, can I play you some like real music? And they were like, yeah, sure. And usually they're like, yeah, we don't like your music. But I started playing Outkast. I played two dope. No, not Hey Oz. No, 2 Dope Boys in a Cadillac. And my kids were like, more. And then you play Rosa Parks, and you just. I was the whole way going home. ATLians, the whole thing, and they loved it. And I wasn't even thinking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I got home, and my kids have been asking me for a week, play Outkast, play Outkast, play Outkast. And then I found out that they went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame over the last week, and I truly do think Andre 3000 he's my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah, great.
But he legitimately is up there, and Big Boy ain't far behind. Like, it's just such a great group. I've always been a huge Outkast fan, so it was really cool to see them going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and seeing Dre. Anytime you can see Andre 3000 these days,
yeah,
like that's a pretty cool fucking thing. Guy just walks around with his flute, like pops up.
You a big fan of his flute album?
Dude, I tried it.
I tried it too.
And I'm not really into the flute, but like, you know what I'm saying, Nate?
America's Team, Jameis Winston.
Hell yeah.
And I just feel like the world's a happier place when Jameis is playing ball, man.
Yes, it
More
is.
Jameis. It's something everyone in this country can agree on.
That's
We're all
true.
just happier with it.
I'm about to text Jameis and say, we love you. Go get him.
Did you see him singing at the podium the other day?
Yeah, I did. There's a
launching a
Hamilton
song.
reference.
Yep.
By the way, are you guys on the Scatabo thing? We can finish with this. Yeah. The eating of the taco.
Do you like turn your head to eat a taco, or do you turn the taco for you? Like, are you dominant to the taco, or does the taco, like, do you turn your head for the taco? It's about the dominance of the taco, though. Like, if you're turning the taco, you're dominating the taco.
I submit to the taco.
Well, the better question is, like, who's to dominate the taco? You have to eat it from the middle.
Yeah.
Right?
No, to dominate the taco, you got to eat it in one bite. Just shove that
there's that.
taco down your throat,
But say it's like a corn tortilla. And like,
I think he's talking about just hard tacos, right?
Or it just all spills out.
This is just
you
a
have
hard
to eat
taco.
the edges.
Right.
Yeah, who? It's not really about dominating your taco, Cam. It's if you eat the side of the taco, it's more efficient. It's an efficiency thing.
But
like,
I think the next question is how do you eat it? Like, you have to turn your head to do that.
Yeah, he's saying, do you turn your head?
You can't just eat a taco straight on.
Well, you do have to turn you have to turn your head, because if you eat it from the side, which is the most efficient way to eat a taco, and you don't turn your head, then the taco is going to spill out over your left shoulder.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to turn your head just a little bit. And so, yeah, I don't know.
Or this is what you do. You got to overstuff the taco with ingredients so that if you do tilt it, if some of the stuff falls out, like, it doesn't matter. You're still getting the bites.
What do you think about that,
of
Macon?
everything together. And then, later scraps, like, you eat that like.
What do you think about that, Macon?
Taco salad.
Sounds messy. I'm perfectly content and sure of myself being submissive to the taco.
Meaning turning your head?
Yeah.
Real men submit to the taco.